Clobberin' time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Come get some.
It's clobberin' time!
The word is given.
Clobberonimo!
Greetings, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberoids, clobberooskies, clobboids, clobberians, clobbologists, blah, 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 and bang the rest together, guys. Whee! Clobberonimo! Welcome, everybody, to Clobberin' Times issue number 476 on YouTube, of course. That's 1,475. Hate me. 475 on YouTube, 1,475 for 15 freaking years, and maybe a few more years or minutes at least. A few more minutes for sure. That I can guarantee you. This is CLOBBY'S Clubhouse 128 with my wonderful first officer, the extraordinary Commander R.M. Briggs, and our Truth Engineer Mark D with a bunch of CCCCs. And you all wonderful people out there in the chat. Hey, number one. What's up?
Hey, boss. Hello, Captain.
How you
I
is?
love you. You're
Love
one
you.
of the
Good
best
to
friends
see you.
I've ever had in real life. I adore you. Love you very much. I'm sending smooches for your whole handsome face. Hail to the chat. Good evening,
Hey.
everyone.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I love you in real life and in 3D.
And in 3D.
In 3D.
Do we have to wear glasses?
No, this is special 3Ders.
Okay.
What a bunch of good pals popping in with us tonight.
Yes.
Good to see you all. Great crowd. Before we get on the way here, let us have some opening words from our first officer. Go for it.
Well, thank you so much, Captain. Yeah, hail to the chat. Good evening, everyone. It is so nice to see everyone. The boss usually gives me a chance to say hello to everyone and give my personal thanks. And, I really appreciate it. I know it takes a few minutes to get through, but you know what makes this show special?
No
What
problem.
makes this channel special are the people who come here to talk about all of these marvelous nerd and geek things. They are the personalities behind the handles. They are the people who use their real names. They are the jokes. They are the secret handshakes. They are the knowledge base. They are the people that make this spot great. So I have to call them out. And man, there are a lot of you. The first thing I want to say is thank you to Lord Thoth for everything he does for me in front of public and behind the scenes. This guy is such a great friend, and he is so loyal and intelligent and kind. I love him so much. Thank you, Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth. And of course, Little Lance. I also want to thank my friend Larry. Larry is a legendary, consummate Southern gentleman with charm and wit and intelligence, and he's such a great man. And I just want to thank him for promoting your channel and everything that you do, Clobby. I also want to thank my buddy
Thank
Eric
you.
K. I love him so much. And I want to thank Chris Persia. Chris, thank you for always being there for us and for promoting Clobby's channel and the beautiful show posters that you make. And I just want to remind everyone that Chris Persia's dad could use a little love. He could use some prayers. He's getting up there. You know, I want to send some love for his health. And, you know, if you pray, you know what? Prayers are great. If you don't pray, you can also send some love and some warm thoughts and maybe a little note, but your love works. I also want to thank my buddy Gwagnar for everything that he does for Clobby behind the scenes. And I also want to thank West Kegel. West, thank you for everything that you do for Clobby. I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
I also want to thank JT Kirk and Michael Beacom for everything that they're doing to help promote my book. Really, like, these are two very intelligent, professional men who are quite gifted as far as writing in their own right. I mean, these are two very intelligent men, and the reviews they've been leaving for my stories and for my book, they're just phenomenal. And I cannot thank them enough. Thank you so much, JT Kirk and Michael Beacom. I also want to ask for prayers and love for Enigmatic Drop Bear. Enigmatic Drop Bear and his family. He has been battling the big C, and he had a big loss in his life. And without getting into his personal business, I just know that he needs your love, and he could definitely use your prayers if you're somebody who prays. You know, I just want him to know that this channel will always be the team of love, of people, of nerds and geeks who always have his back. We are on Team Enigmatic Drop Bear. Edie, we love you very much. And we're just sending all of our power and all of our love and great thoughts and prayers to you and your beautiful family.
Indeed.
I want to extend that love to Philip Story as well. Philip Story's mother-in-law has been had some health struggles, and so I just want to send our love and our prayers to Philip Story and his family, and that should be it for the thank yous, folks. I write fiction, science fiction. It's classic episodic science fiction. It doesn't involve any type of activism, and I'm not an activist. And because of that, I'm having a difficult time getting published because I'm not writing the kind of things they want to publish right now. So a bunch of marvelous people, 23 marvelous human beings, stepped forward and said, you know, let's kick it 19th, 20th century style. We want to get your butt on Patreon, and we want to be your patrons. And it's a pretty incredible feeling. I owe everything to these marvelous human beings who not only read my stuff, but they promote it, and they help me to get to conventions, and they help me to have book signings and to do advertisements for these public appearances. I can't do anything without them. They are my corporation. They are my publishing house. They are my friends. They are my readership, and I adore them. And so I got to call them out. Larry, I love you, sweetheart. Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Penny Lane, Shooter, Gwagnar, Dave, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete. You guys, I miss you. Can't wait to see you when you get home. And Eric K. and his trusty dusty dog, Kirby, Enigmatic Dropper, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, thank you again. I love you too. Mark D with a C, Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman Clan, Lord and Lady Thoth, and of course Lance. And whenever I say his name, you got to chuck some cheese in the chat because we have pepperonis in here, wall-to-wall doggos. Rob Altis, Tyler, Jeff Wyatt, Rod Thunderheart, Mazarus, and of course my buddy West Kegel. Thank you for being my corporation. Thank you for being my publishing house. Thank you for being my readership. Thank you for being my friends and for believing in me and for believing in my stories. I love you all more than I will ever be able to say out loud with words. I just have it in my heart. If you like science fiction, you can pick up my science fiction at Barnes & Noble and at Amazon. Not sure if you want to buy a whole book? that's okay, because I write short stories and I've made them available a la carte. And that's just a fancy way of saying you can buy them one at a time and of your choosing for only 99 cents in American dollars. And so now I'm going to let the show get underway, and I'm going to shut up. Captain, my Captain, Mon Capitaine, let's get this party started. Let's do it!
Well, before we do the shout outs and shout outs, it's good. I would one question. You were talking about your book. Don't you have another one coming out soon?
I do, boss. I have a second book that will feature another 10 stories. So right now we're at the 20th story, but those who have been a part of my Patreon know that we're actually 22 stories in. So I haven't officially announced it yet, but I have begun work on the third book. So the second one isn't even published yet. I'm waiting to hear from a trusted friend who is a literary scholar who has been editing it for me. And as soon as I hear back from him, I will have that second book published.
We'll make a big announcement for it then when you're ready.
Thanks, boss. That would be great.
Soon. Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations.
I'll keep you posted. Oh, thank you so much, Mark.
I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, shout outs and shout outs. What is it? Thursday, right? Okay. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, on the Great J-Man's channel. We started it last week. Fantastic Fridays. Yes, indeed. On the Great J-Man's channel, J-Man, Sean, and myself will continue our ongoing coverage of the Jack King Kirby's legendary run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102. Annuals 1 through 6, 4 issues a week. So tomorrow we start from issue 5 through 8. Can't wait. Looking so much fun. I'm just loving it. It's the great one, celebrating the most important run in all of comics history, in my opinion. And then of course,
and also being able to enjoy it with someone who is as knowledgeable as you are. You are a subject matter expert, and that is going to make that show so exciting. I'm thrilled for every person who has ever loved the Fantastic Four, because they get to hang out with you as you all talk about something that you're so passionate about.
Thank you. But I don't know anything about comics.
Get out of here. Shin kicks. Shin kicks.
Yes. And of course, the great Nick, 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser will be over there hanging out with the Friday Night Comic Shop boys, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think they got an interview with somebody. I think I'm not exactly sure. And then let's see here. Something's going on Saturday night. Yeah, I think it's Saturday Night Star Trek.
Dun, dun, dun.
Same Trek time, same Clubby channel. Let's see. It is 4 more scintillating episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Just getting started with
that makes me want to watch it. I want to watch that show.
Season 6 episodes reviews. Well, I don't know if any starships will be used to scoop up avalanches, but we hope so. Let's see what else. And then of course, Ninja Weekend Geek with the chief engineer himself, the great chief engineer Mark. Sunday nights. Sorry,
Sunday night. Yep.
Sunday night geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern, and a little bit of eatery too. So
for sure.
And then of course, and I'm back here Monday for on Sean's. Sean, listen to me. J-Man's channel with Sean and myself. We'll continue our Legion of Superheroes reviews, and then back with Monday Night March Comics Talk and all the usual shows next week. And so let's do some shouty outy, shall we?
Boss, before we do that, I was just wondering if you, the folks in the chat, they were wondering if you could let the Grand Negus out of the trunk. Could you unlock the trunk and let the Grand Negus out just for a little bit?
I don't think so, Pork, but you leave me alone. I tried to, I got some important things to do here. No, it's inconceivable. No. So stop bothering me. Pork. Bothering me that one.
No, I can't let him out. Sorry.
Little Zecky. All right, that makes you feel better. I'll say the great Eric K, the Bronze Richer.
I'm sorry. The great Eric K, the Bronze Richer, who is not with us tonight because he's having too much fun in Vegas. Hope you're having a great time out there with our good buddy Gary at Nerdrotic and the big Friday Night Tights meetup and all that stuff in Vegas. Wish them well. Hope they're having a great time, and
Yeah.
hope everybody, Eric, is having himself some fun.
Have fun, but be safe, please.
Yeah, buddy. Both. Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrench of the Great White North. Thank you so much for all you do, buddy. The great D-Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth, God of the Wrenches. Avon lives, long live the Legion, my friend. The Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. The aforementioned Legionnaire Extraordinaire, fantastic reviewer. The great J-Man that is. Maddie's daddy. And Maddie's daddy, I'm going to get to see him next week coming to town.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. All
And
right.
Maddie's going to be there.
Yeah, but get to see Maddie again. This will be great.
Oh, she's so
I can't wait to
cute.
see some pictures.
We'll see some
Yeah.
pictures for sure. Not with me in them, of course, but with
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bobby.
I don't need to see pictures of you. Just
No, you definitely don't. I definitely don't.
you don't need
Yeah,
to see
well.
pictures of me either.
I don't blame him, man. Super Wrench Kal-El, the rascally wrench himself, Fanty Outsidery, Clobbering Time Zone, Music Meister, Maximum Redstone, and our triple bullwinkle winch, Larry. Now let's see who's here with us in the chat.
Well,
Let
you're
me
going to
back
be
it up.
really happy because Andy,
What a great group we got.
Andy walked through the door.
Andy.
Yeah.
Andy who?
Andy Masterson.
From
is here.
Mayberry.
And the
Oh.
first thing he said was, I'm looking forward to the shows.
Oh, you said Andy, a different Andy. Sorry. Okay, well, Andy Masterson. Hello, Team Asabi. Good to see you, buddy.
Andy!
Absolutely, isness. Let's see. My Amir and my monkey was first here. Hello there.
monkey!
Good to see you. FKH. What's up, Tim?
Good evening, Tim.
Night Raven 1942. Welcome. Says, what is Clobby going to talk about? Well, who knows? We know. Blake 7, Kolchak, Star Trek comic. You got it. Dave C.
Dave!
Michael Beacom.
Michael and Cassandra Beacom. And the
Michael.
Crowd's Wild.
Shout out to Cassandra, buddy.
Is she off nights yet? I know she's working at the hospital and she's been working nights. Well, she's had a wacky schedule. Hope she's getting back to normal. Poor thing.
Indeed. Claude Salling. What's up?
Claude!
Claude, my friend. We'll get some. Tetrarch. What's up?
So
What's up, country?
apathetic.
But he cares.
He does.
So, maybe he doesn't. I'm not the boss of him. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to. Melted Copper. What's up?
Ooh,
What's up,
cool
dude?
name.
Let's see. Get to some more. I know there's more, but Ravenscroft. All right, my friend.
Evening.
We're going to get to Blake 7 as quick as we can, so because I know you're on borrowed time usually. Scribe Light, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
Welcome. Let's see. The great 1701 Tex. What's up, brother? I'm going to be seeing you next week.
Tex.
Good to see you next week, huh, bud? I hope. Oh man, I got to work that schedule out because Steve's going to be in town the same way that. No, we'll have to work it out. Andy Masterson.
Andy.
Let's see.
Oh, Michael Beacom
Hey,
says Cassandra's still working that weird
Oh,
early shift.
okay. I got you.
Lucky. Ooh.
Enjoy though. Handle it, and it'll be good. Love you, Cassandra. Patrick Britt, my friend. Good to see you again.
Hey.
Good to see you again. It was great having you visit with us last night, talking some comics. Princess Fiona, I love you, Princess.
B5O bum. I love you, girl.
DJ Nice. DJ Play Nice. I'm sorry. DJ
Rock.
Play Nice. What's up? What's up? What's up? Simply Steve, you old rascal, you.
Evening.
Let's see. I do believe that is everybody for the moment, but anyone else who pops in will be shouted out accordingly. The way we roll up in here. Whoa, what happened?
The Tetrarch of Apathy. I care, but Tetrarch of Poker Face lacks pizzazz.
Yeah, it's true. Well, they say caring matters, but I'm not sure I agree. So, all right. Well, actually, I'm the only one that says that, and I just say it to be annoying, so don't worry. And so, okay. Well, I guess we should get down to beeswax. Because we got a lot of review. We got a lot of reviewing to do.
Yeah, better not waste any
It's
time.
reviewing time. Unless you got something to say, Mark. I didn't really give you a chance.
Well, no, it's okay. Just hi to everyone, and looking forward to a fun show tonight.
All right, well.
And I didn't clip anything yet, but I think there were a couple funny clips.
You don't have to clip them. I'll just quote them.
You can do your impersonation, but there's a couple. There's one or two I really gotta get that were great. But,
Nice.
Up to you. But do you have a background for us, or?
Oh, yep. Let me get that. I'm doing it right now.
Ooh, right. Cool. So
let me put that up. Yep.
Put that up there.
And thank you for everyone that was hanging out at the watch party earlier.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's tonight, folks. We have Blake 7. We have Kolchak the Night Stalker. And we have a Star Trek comic book for you as well. So let us get it. Move on. We're gonna knock it out quick too. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
We'll be quick and efficient. We promise. Probably
we'll
lying,
try,
but probably lying, but you know. Rollity then. Are we ready to roll?
We're ready. Yeah.
Ready to roll number 1?
Ready.
Okay. Okie dokie, my friends. When last we left our intrepid 7, stuff was happening and things were going on. Last week was hostage, of course. Anyway, in a previous episode, known as Pressure Point, of course, Blake and the crew went looking for Federation computer control on Earth. Turned out to be a ruse. It was never there when we lost our dear beloved Olag Gan. And so now we pick up the search. Blake has been doing some research with Urak to try to find out, where is the Federation computer control complex center. And
hello, computer.
Hello, computer. He ended up getting a name to go search on this planet Albion. I do believe the planet is killed. So our episode opens up. This is, of course, Blake 7, season 2, episode 22 overall, but season 2, episode 9. And hey, Adrian James, what's up?
Adrian.
And it opens up actually with a fierce battle of Federation troops being attacked by what turns out to be a resistance force on the planet. And after an extreme battle, the few officers that are there for the Federation end up being forced out of their command center, but not before Major Probine. Oh, really? Wow. There you go. And his named Albion. Major Provine, the base commander, gives the order rather to set off a Solian device, as they call it, which is basically a radiation type bomb that, once activated, will release a radiation that destroys human flesh and organic tissue, but then immediately cleans itself up in a matter of days and leaves the buildings and everything intact, which is why this society's been overtaken. So, nevertheless, the resistance, although they win the short-term battle, the Space Major Provine, Max, don't make me turn this thing around.
Max,
what's your rush?
Clobby has this old saying, like if you're being super annoying, he always says, take your hand and put it in the back of your head and then just move your elbow and your arm together and just slap yourself in the back of the head.
Right, but I'm reserving that because he really gets misbehaved. Although they just say Major Program, but you're right, it's Space Major works. Is he a Space Major though? Because he's a base commander. I'm not so sure he's a Space Major.
He's a major space provine.
You sure it wasn't Major Tom?
There's another one, Mr. Smarty Pants. There you go.
Your agonizer, please.
Anyway,
sorry.
So while a gentleman, a mercenary by the name of Del Grant, has led the Albion Resistance to overtake the complex. They set off the bomb. Provine and one of his men escaped through the tunnels. There's an explosion. The man is killed by a cave-in, but Provine's still alive. In the meantime, we join the Liberator. We find out that Blake wants to go down there and question this man. He doesn't know. The Liberator crew, Blake, do not know about the uprising at the time, of course. So they teleport down into the complex. They see the remnants of the big-time fight, the big battle, all the dead Federation soldiers. There are only like 100 of them even stationed on the planet of something like 5 million people, because they're not really need a big, they have the Solian device, so they don't really need a big force there. That's how the Federation controls a lot of planets that way. So Blake and crew, Blake, Avon, and Villa teleport down. They eventually make contact with the Resistance, who have secured the command of the base. And they become, obviously, since they're pretty much allies, they become friendly with the Resistance, but they find out about the device. Avon takes a look at it. He basically realizes that he could deactivate it, but they're nowhere near where the device is. And eventually, before we, basically we find out that it's on the other side of the planet or what have you. But in comes Del Grant, the mercenary leader of the Resistance that helped the Resistance take over. And it seems that Blake and Del have a history. Bum, bum, bum. Because the Del Grant I once knew, as he tells Blake, told me that if he ever saw me again, he would kill me. So yeah, there's some bad blood between the Del Grant. And yes, if you're a Doctor Who fan and you love the episode City of Death, that's the same guy from that episode, Del Grant. Anyway,
but what's weird is Paul Darrow makes Avon's face, Avon should be Avon anyway, Avon makes Avon's face
Avon.
Like it's like a tender, like it's almost like the look on his face when he says that the last time he saw him he wanted him killed. He also has a look of pain on his face. And so I'm looking at cute Paul Darrow, who just needs to have his entire face smooched. You can see his visage, his countenance. It definitely shows that there's something deeply wrong there. This isn't just some guy who hates him.
Yeah, well, there's definitely the pain there, but yes, he's he knows that. He just said, because the Del Grant I once knew said, if he ever saw me again, he would kill me. Yep. Mm-hmm. So yes,
great
exactly.
acting, great facial expressions. Yeah, not just
right, Mark.
words.
You're like, what do you mean he wanted you dead? Because he doesn't have the typical like ha, 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 look on his face, and that's usually the look that Avon gives. This time, it's like there is something really serious behind this, and you know by the look on his face.
Yes. And it's Brogu from my old hometown.
Brogu, mwah, mwah, mwah. Hello.
That's absolutely the case. Yeah, it's definitely a pained expression. So we find out that the Solian device is indeed on the other side of the planet, thousands of miles away in an Arctic type region, or in a very cold, icy place. And but obviously, no problem for the Liberator in their teleport system. So it is reasoned that obviously Avon would go to do it. Blake, wants to go. He says no. He tells, finish what we're thinking. Go find Provine. So he tells Blake, you can't do any good. You go find Provine. I'll do it. And he agrees to let Del Grant go with him after some initial protest, because Del Grant, of course, has some experience with systems like that as well. And so as the two of them go back to the Liberator and to ended up teleporting down to where the bomb is, Blake and Villa continue, helping the Resistance. And of course, Blake wants to find Provine. And that basically is your very basic rundown plot of the episode. Eventually, the episode focuses on two things very well in this one. Blake ends up in a confrontation with Provine, who tries to kill him, but he ends up managing. We don't actually see it happen, but he manages in a struggle to kill Provine, who's dying. He gets one word out of Provine when he's questioning him about the Federation control. He says, it's called Star One now. And he says, Dockley, cyber surgeon. Only Dockley knows. And he gets a name, and that's it. Provine dies, as he should, because he's a rat bastard scumbag. And Blake at least got a very important word out of him that would turn out to be, well, not right now, but turn out to mean something. He knows now that's called Star One. Whoa, big info in this one actually. But more importantly, the more important part of the story, although that is valid, is that Avon and Grant are on the getting together in a pretty thrilling bit where they're trying to deactivate the bomb. Needless to say, it's a TV show, so they managed to do that in the nick of time. But it's the drama between the two over the death of Del Grant's sister, Anna Grant, who obviously was Avon's love, his big love. That they'd been together in the fraud that got Avon put on Silver Cygnus Alpha in the first place.
Did they say they were married or not? That
no, they didn't say that they were married.
They
didn't say it. Yeah,
but it almost doesn't matter, though, I guess.
More on that in about a season, in another season,
Yeah.
at the end of the next season. Yeah, pretty much. More on Anna later, but for now, that's all you know about Anna. Is that they were in love, and she was tortured to death by Federation interrogators to try to get to Avon.
Yeah. And
her brother, and of course Avon, are lamenting and mourning her death. Let's just put it like that, because we're not spoiling anything around here. And it's a great surprise later. So Del Grant and Avon argue about it. Del Grant has a lot of problems accepting Avon's word on it. At the time, Del's he's crushed, he's pinned under some materials but Avon ends up defusing the mechanism and saving Del. And they end up with an uneasy understanding. I think Del comes to believe Avon. He just wanted to be pissed off at something. He wanted to blame Avon. I think he stops blaming Avon. This is about as close to Avon making a friend out of an enemy that you're ever probably going to see. But only because of Anna, because he's close to him because it's Anna's brother. Anybody else, I don't think he would try to let him even warm up to him. But she even asked, "Why did you help me?" It's perhaps because Anna was your sister. As close to family as Avon will ever get. Probably as close to family as he'll ever get. Avon did have a brother mentioned in one episode, but other than that, you don't hear much of in the series. That's all you know about Avon.
Out a lot, right?
No, he had a brother. That he had Anna, and there are a couple times you hear about a friend here and there. But other than that, you don't know about too much about Avon's past, which is cool, which is good, I think. So the end of the episode, I love the bit at the end there when Blake, one of my favorite lines. I don't think you don't have to clip it. Was when they're about to go to deactivate the bomb. There's a great scene that shows how, whatever else Blake is, he does love his crew and he cares about him as reckless as he is. When he tells Grant, he says, "Just one thing. If anything happens to Avon, I will come looking for you." And he means it. Blake absolutely meens it.
I did love that line. Yeah.
I love that bit. It's one of my favorite bits. And then later when he tells Avon, "Do you want to tell me about Anna? I doubt you'd understand." He says, "Wouldn't I? I doubt it." This won't tell him. He'll probably never open up to Blake about anything, at least that we'll ever know about, right? So episode ends on a somber but humorous note where Avon's kind of Blake has learned a little bit about Avon, or at least as much as you could ever learn about Avon, because he probably never tells anyone. As Villa once said, "You got to hand it to Avon. He can sure keep a secret. He probably won't even talk to himself." What's his
right?
Yeah. So again, I will now turn it over to number one. Sorry about that discombobulated
that was awesome.
synopsis, everybody, but that's basically.
I thought that was an awesome synopsis. And
thank
folks, if you are new here and have never heard of Blake 7, you are in for quite a treat, because Clobby is the biggest Blake 7 fan in the entire universe. And that was the synopsis of the episode countdown. That is season 2, episode 9. And it first aired on March 6, 1979. And if you are not watching Blake 7, you need to be watching Blake 7. And I also need to wave to Mars Monkey Max.
Hey, Mars Monkey Max. But I got to be fair now. Max Redstone is a big Blake 7 fanatic too, and he knows his stuff. Consider him.
Oh no, he's hot on your heels.
I consider him a Blake 7 brother in arms.
He is. So should I get to my notes?
Yes, go for it. Number one.
Okay, we have a big opening with action and nifty costumes right off the hop. So
go ahead, Ravenscroft. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ravenscroft.
Oh,
put yours in there.
okay.
We'll save it. Yeah, everyone, you can write your reviews now. We'll save them.
Yeah, the word is given.
Good. Take your time.
The word.
Oh,
The
yeah.
word, the
The
word.
word. Sorry, good.
Mark
I gotta
quoting
clip that
Travis.
so we
It
can
just
use that
seems
for-
wrong.
Flip that one. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, just the short, the word. I'll do that in a minute. Yeah.
So big opening with action and nifty costumes right off the hop. Wow, this is a lush episode as far as that goes. I just absolutely love the presentation. By minute 7 or 8, we get into Avon. We have some lovely Liberator in orbit over the planet. I love these shots. I think it looks fabulous. I love this ship. And of course, I love those scenes. I love the production like this. I love the practical effects. I really, really liked the ceiling above the escape rocket. I thought that it was very cool technology, and it felt very much like a planetarium. If you've ever been to a planetarium where they open up the ceiling to
Yeah.
reveal the projector or whatever, it's quite cool. The Federation is deranged. They're willing to commit genocide, obliterating an entire planet's population and all living things. And that's what radiation does. So millions of people, every ecosystem, every living thing. And now I want to remind everyone about what I was talking about when I said that Avon really needed to think about whether or not he wanted to annihilate, like to kill the top people at the Federation, and whether or not it would be worth it. And I'm talking about this exact scenario. They kill millions of people and they don't even think about it. They include the sound of the guard's neck being broken, which is just horrifying to me. As you all know, I'm not a big fan of violence, so it works really, really well on me. Every time I hear that crunch, I'm like, ugh! I love that Villa is portrayed as a brilliant locksmith. He truly is. I think that he is such a great character. And I just wrote in my notes, I love Avon. He's a good man, such a good man. And you could just see how much he loved Anna and how much he loved his brother-in-law, and how the fact that it was difficult made it even more impactful for him, and it really affected him emotionally. His love for her, her death, the way she died, the fact that he was powerless to get to her and he wanted to, and the fact that he had this strange relationship with his brother-in-law when he takes his brother-in-law by the hand. And it is so powerful, and the fact that he stays to take the stuff off of him to try and save his life. It's a pretty incredible moment. I always remember this episode as the spy action one. I put that in my notes because it very much reminds me of James Bond. This is a real James Bond feel to it. And everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of UFO. So when you mix that spy element, that James Bond, with the Star Trek, you wind up with UFO, which is, I believe, the second sexiest thing ever created for television. UFO is second only to Star Trek, the original series. And so Countdown has that same flavor. It's got that beautiful spy element, the big complex, all of the soldiers, the horrible, death bomb that's going to kill everyone, the catastrophic cataclysm that has to be stopped, and you have the heroes, and then even going to this frozen glacier to uncover where the brains of the bomb where they are. I just think that it's absolutely terrific. So I think that this is a great episode and I enjoyed it immensely. I gave it a 6.5 out of 7. And the only reason why 6.5 out of 7 is because I prefer the pure ideas of pure science fiction. And this glorious, gorgeous, cerebral show is chock full of it. But still, this has that UFO feel to it. It's a wonderful dance when you see that James Bond mixed with Star Trek. It's incredibly sexy in UFO, and it also works here. It's a 6.5, boss. And Zathras. Crap.
Zathras. What's up, buddy? All right. Thank you so much. Number one. Anyone else who has any reviews, go ahead and get them out there. The word is given. The word. The word. The word. Didn't you?
You guys,
I did. Oh, we do have that. We do have that.
quoting
Yep,
Travis is so bad.
But
I'm
sometimes
looking for it
can-
now.
It's,
Where is it?
The word. The word. Switch the bracelet on. The word. The word. The word. Teleport! I told you teleport!
I'm gonna make a short version for you. So
Yeah,
you
just
can
say the
click
word. The word.
The word. Yeah, yeah. That's the
Guys.
beginning part.
What?
Yeah.
Quoting
What?
Travis, it's very evil.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's
I
fun.
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love that bit. So,
And the,
yeah. Mark, words
well,
about.
no, there's. I did
no?
clip the. I love Villa, so this is one clip
Mm.
from Villa tonight. I had to
yeah.
clip this one.
What?
I've been a wanted man all my life. What I need now is to be unwanted. Come on.
Always the great comic relief, but it's
Yeah.
well written dialogue. You know, it's not making him look like the idiot, but it's just the reluctant. And there's another quote too about him not wanting to go. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't you ever get? Well, Blake got on him for whining about not wanting to go. But there's also the one where he opened that door. He said the old magic's here and still here, And was it? Avon said the old ego too.
Yep, that was next to my list of clip. Yeah.
But that
So
Blake.
Are you
that was Blake. Yeah.
are
Blake
you
and Avon.
starring, boss?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you
then
want.
I
Oh,
shall
okay.
not.
Oh, I was just doing a habit, but if you want to, it's cool.
No, you go ahead, honey.
I'll get him. Yeah.
I think we were
Well-
canceling each other out for a minute there, so I'm just gonna
Gotcha.
stop.
Not a problem. We're good. We got you.
We got too many stars in the chat.
We do.
But
Yes.
no, there's just an exciting episode, and as I always say too, in the watch party as we're talking about it, they don't have a ton of money, but it did look pretty good. The sets here and and I think of course this is my second time around watching it, so you're kind of into the show and you know it more, and that kind of stuff doesn't bother me as an old school, get off my lawn science fiction fan. Might take some people out of the show. Doesn't matter for me, but I think they do a very competent job, with limited budget and camera tricks and the magic of TV to make it look like it's a believable base there. The bomb or the mechanism is really well done. The engineering behind it, it looks believable, and it's a great scene where the the last second the evil Federation villain is twirling his mustache as he dies. He pushes the button and then the bomb is activated. Just classic, a classic trope. And of course, then the heroes, save the day in the end. But really well done character development with
Yes.
Avon here, which you always get in this.
Yes, that
series.
is Duggan, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
That is Duggan with Avon. Yes,
Duggan. Okay,
that's the guy that played Duggan in City of Death, Doctor Who classic episode.
and they have some great moments together. And you
Yeah.
start with they're ready to kill each other, but Avon is not as typical, reacting against them. He's more, as you said, restrained, or so you can see something's going on there. You're like, well, what's all this about? So it's a great reveal. Watching the second time around, you know what's happening, but just shows how good the acting was with his facial features, and he's not really overtly attacking, well, for lack of a better term, his brother-in-law. I mean, I guess technically they weren't married, but it would be like your brother-in-law. So it's almost family, and you can see that on Avon's face. So, and then the great line in the end where he says, at least she you could quote it better than me, Clobbering times, but when she says, at least Anna knew that I would basically given anything to
Yes,
save her.
Yeah, he said there's never. He said it was if there's any time I could have given my life for her, I would have. At least my only consolation is at least Anna knew that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because your Garbaggio memory is
It is garbage.
much better than my memory.
I
It's
probably
only
messed that up.
short term. His long term memory is a steel trap. Good evening,
Yeah, my
Rob
God.
Altus.
Rob
Right.
Altus, buddy.
Rob, yep. So yeah, and that's a great touching moment. And of course, the other evil part is how good the Federation is at keeping a planet in line with what did they say, 20 soldiers? I mean, almost no one on the planet by threatening them. It's around this time the neutron bomb was and the world stage and the news. And
Yeah,
I
the
think
neutron bomb. Yeah.
Jimmy Carter, I think, had proposed it for the U.S. in term. It was quote unquote a more humane, weapon, but it's equally horrific. I don't see what the difference is, but
Well,
we
yeah, it
kill
was-
people, but leave the buildings intact.
Remember Blake said, he said, typical Federation policy, things are more important than people.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's another great line in that episode, and very true, right? I mean, what's the difference? Everyone is dead, then who cares, right? So, but that was, I don't know if that was, I'm not sure the timeline of this, but the neutron bomb was
1979.
so I think
Yeah,
it was
there was
around
a
that
lot
time,
of talk
right?
of the neutron bomb back then. Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea was, you destroy everything, you'd kill everyone, but the buildings could be retreat. Nothing would be hurt building wise. You'd kill everyone with radiation, but yeah. So that ties into current events, but not really, right? We could watch this, 40 plus years later, and it's you don't know that it's about current events. You just know it's about the horror of war. So I really liked all those flourishes, and of course the Federation commander in there, God, he's a Provone. I mean, you want him dead, but he's pretty resourceful too, right? So with his sneaking and lurking about,
Yes,
behind
good
enemy
character.
lines.
Interesting character. Yes, who was interesting.
Yeah, he's not a stupid, a stupid villain, or they give him, some intelligence, so you're rooting against them, but you're also seeing what a formidable foe is. I'm sure the Federation
Right.
probably give him a medal for for what he did, unfortunately.
There's that great bit at the beginning when that blustering sycophantic sergeant comes there and says, our men, he says, yes, but he says, ask them for an assessment. Our men will hold the line valiantly. Says, he spare me the propaganda, because tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And even though he knows it's bullshit.
The Federation is
Picasso.
like that. It's like one minute you're terrified that if you don't fall in line, if you don't toe the line, you could be killed for one wrong word. But at the same time, you're around people who are so villainous that if you don't give it to them straight, they'll kill you for that too. I mean, it shows you how difficult it is to be a soldier in this Federation.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Good evening, Picasso. It is so good to see you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Picasso. Yep.
But it's no, it's great. It's great stuff and great reflection of great writing. I mean, you don't have $1 million for this episode, but they're, that makes the commander that much more realistic. Like the episode where they're when Travis is on trial and the guards outside in the hallway are intelligent. They're characters, they're real people. And most shows, the guards are just the guards. You never hear 2 words from them or find out anything about them.
The show does such a good job of that with their one-off minor characters. They write them so well that you feel it when something happens to them.
Yeah, and you know them as real characters. It just makes
right.
It's just it's a great thing. So I give the I guess I give this a 6.5 too. I think it's almost the perfect episode. Great action, great storyline. I mean, it's almost a 7 too. I'm even just trying to debate my grade, but I'll get. There's some episodes I like that are coming up that are even better, as good as this one is. So I'll go with a 6.5. But and I do have a couple of quick notes on if I'm gonna do them now or just.
Well, I was gonna do my review first.
You do your review, yeah. And I got a couple quickie notes. Yep. You do your review. Yep.
Well, let's see here. I think I could. 1 second. Damn it. We have once again. Now, this is for the first time since we've been reviewing. A couple weeks ago. Oh, this is the second time. Sorry, this is the second time we've broken my top 5. Trial, which we did a couple of weeks back, was my number 5 all-time favorite episode. This is my number 4. I love it that much. I give it a 7++ rating. And the reason why I've always loved it so much is because Avon is such my favorite character. This was I hate to use the title of a TV show I don't even care much for, like everyone else, a quantum leap for the character in terms of, I mean, he was already great. I mean, if you're watching the show for the first time, he's always such a great character. This adds another layer of Avon that cannot be denied. And it is really, I mean, if this show is all about the characters, as great as all the other concepts can be, without these characters being so good, it would mean nothing. And this was, is Avon going to stay just complete mystery bastard for the entire run of the show. No, eventually you're going to have you've added little bits and pieces, but not much. This one, the whole Anna backstory and his conflict and problem with Dell added so much to this character. It was already my favorite. And this one just, seals the deal because it just shows how much more there is to Avon than just some smart aleck and some cynic. We've already been seeing this build up slowly over the course of this season. And this one, it's just incredible. And there will be more episodes that do things like that as well. This is throughout the entire course of the series, and probably why I love this series so well. I love them all. But the character development of Avon, and I mean through the whole thing, to the very last episode of the series, that's why it's probably my top 2 or 3 all-time favorite characters in television, is a tour de force. It is absolutely marvelous seeing what the writers, Terry Nation, Chris Boucher, and Robert Holmes, and a few other ones, and directors like Veer Lorrimore and Paul Darrow, more than all, build this wonderful character. And this was one of the biggest stepping stones for the character for me. And so I love it for that. I love the basic plot is very simple, but he's so good. He elevates all the other characters. Avon, Villa's already terrific. Blake is already a terrific character. All of them are really good. Avon just makes them so much better. And the bit where, we got a couple, I think it's weird that one of my favorite lines in the episode is not even from Avon. It's from Blake. Again, when Blake learns that there's somebody that is a danger to Avon, and when he threatens Dell Grant, he says, if anything happens to Avon, I will come looking for you. It shows me that, this is a good moment for Blake too, because it shows you how much he cares about Avon, and he cares about his crew, even if he is reckless and reckless fanatic. It just shows there's a bond between Blake and Avon that we don't get a full look at because of, remember, they don't live in the kind of world that Kirk and Spock live in, or Kirk and Spock and McCoy live in. They live in a much more cynical, dangerous world that doesn't have a good Federation to make everybody happy and, live in this great, great, wonderful future. They live in a very bleak one. So it makes it a lot tougher to trust anybody and to be friends with anybody. They show it in smaller degrees, and it just means the world to me, the characterization and the writing for these characters. And so I'll say that's why I love this episode. It is an absolute leap for the character of Avon, who is, for me, the most important character of the series. Now,
before you get away from that conversation, I just want to say that I totally agree with you about that threat that Blake makes to his brother, to Avon's would-be brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Because isn't it cool how it shows that Blake and Avon are kind of like brothers at this point? They're kind of like a family. Yes. And how that's true, and that these characters are becoming more and more real as the season unfolds, is the banter that they had when Avon was angry that Gan was killed. And Blake throws it up in his face, or Avon throws it in his face, and he says, look, if you allow any more of our crew to die, they're not going to forgive you. Yep. And Blake says to Avon, well, you just better make sure that it's not you. It just goes to show you that he never meant that. It's just that these two are constantly at one another. It's like two really smart brothers who are always competing with one another, and they love each other, but they don't agree. They don't see eye to eye on so many things. And so for me, when that moment takes place, when he says that to his would-be brother-in-law, it's kind of a crazy moment, because this is the second time I've watched it. So it's like you realize that he's talking to his brother-in-law, and then but who he obviously, by the end of the episode, we knew he always loved him. But then it's also the fact that all that shit that has gone on between Blake and Avon has just made them closer. And this is what I mean about the beautiful cerebral nature of this show. It's not just the way they handle science fiction. It's the way they handle dialogue and relationships. And so I love that you point that out, because the first time and the second time around, that same conversation stood out to me. So I just wanted you to know that I love what you said.
Oh, well, thanks. And I love what you said. Absolutely. Well said. You got some notes there, or some things to point out, Mark, before we read our
Sure.
review?
Yep. Definitely. Yep. So quickie notes from the wiki. Hey, that kind of rhymed actually. Sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of, almost. Yep. So here we go. So neither Zen nor Orak appears in this episode, although Orak is mentioned, making the only episode after Spacefall for which Peter Tunenheim was not required. I guess, or maybe he was on vacation. They just didn't use him. So let's not use him this week then. Yep. At one point, it appeared Blake might be written out in this episode, with Grant being introduced as a potential replacement. In the original script, the cyber surgeon was called Doc Holliday, which changed to Doc Holly, and the final script became Dockley. So that it comes from Doc Holliday. Yep.
They did better with that, yeah.
Doc Holly's better, yeah. When Doc Holliday would take you out of the episode, yeah. The Guardian spacecraft from Time Squad appears as the escape rocket.
Yep.
So they always reuse stuff. Yep. And 6.9 million people watch this episode, so quite a few. Very well rated. Yep. Production errors. When Avon drills the holes in the transparent detonator tubes to insert the rods, the holes are clearly already present before he inserts the drill. Yeah, because it'd be pretty tough to drill, freehand a big hole like that one-handed. So that's minor stuff. But also the fun thing, I'm in the tool business. So back then, the power tools were pretty abysmal if they were battery powered, not like today. So of course, but they did a great job like covering it up and making it look futuristic. It was
supposed to be the future.
They added the special effects, but it's clearly a regular drill.
Yeah,
the batteries were so bad back then.
Well, they couldn't use laser stuff because it would set off they were afraid it would set off the device.
Yeah, but I thought it was well done. I think that's a kind of a nitpicky thing, but that was kind of kind of fun. But
okay, off to the agony booth you go.
I'm the tool expert here. Come on,
just off you go.
Just going off with my head, but
no, not off with your head. Just off to the agony booth you go. We'll put it on the minimal setting.
But I said it was nitpicky, but I agree. I thought as a tool person as a tool person that was
I hear you,
and I like the special effects and the sound effects. So they did, it doesn't take a lot of money sometimes, but even that little touch of just making the drill sound having like a futuristic sound kind of tried to show, that they cared, even with a limited budget. Hey, let's at least take the time to change the sound of this drill. Make it sound something futuristic, even if we don't have the money to make a totally futuristic drill. So there's a great touches all around on this show. So it's a real labor of love. You can tell they care about what's happening. The acting, is phenomenal too. So good.
Looks good.
Yep.
Mars Monkey Max is here. Did we say hello to MMM already?
We did. It's because me and my monkey is here, but so is Mars Monkey Max. And so that's why you're like, hey, did I get that? And I'm here to tell you, boss, that you definitely did.
All righty. Let's go ahead and get our reviews because I know Ravenscroft.
Yeah. Got to get
it
rolling, right?
So. All right. Well, we don't, like I said, we only have two of us in the chat that ever review it, really. So that's cool. But more than welcome. But then I don't know if, like I said, it's not like a bunch want to. So that's why otherwise we'd be in trouble. We'd have to limit the numbers. But Ravenscroft, yes.
Joe Dog just walked through the door.
Joe Dog, what's up, buddy?
Sorry, sweetheart.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Let's see, Joe Dog. Good to see you, buddy. 7 Avons. This is Ravenscroft, of course. He gives 7 Avons. One of my favorites. Me too. This has it all. Great character moments, terrific action, a pulse-pounding plot, and stellar acting and tediousness. The first and in many ways best story dealing with why Avon is the way he is.
Yes.
Later episodes deal with his grief, but this one seems to focus on his survivor's guilt. Yeah, yes. Good point. His final, you wouldn't understand to Blake. To Blake is typical.
I've been a wanted man all my life.
That was my bad. I clicked the wrong button. I'm sorry.
No problem. To Blake is his final, you wouldn't understand to Blake is typical, but not very insightful. Does he not think that Blake, a man who has lost his entire family, would not understand grief? I think he just likes being a jerk off to Blake, to be honest. I think that's all it is. He likes being a jerk to Blake. Amazed at the quality of the opening battle scenes. They must have spent the whole third season budget here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was something. The bomb is inspired by the then neutron bomb. Yep. Yepper. Provine is a great guest star villain, and Grant is a strong adversary ally. Yep, Duggan. I read there were plans to have him join the crew at some point. Yes.
Oh.
And that would have been cool, but I don't know. I think you needed it the way it was.
You're free. You're free to join us. You're free to stay on.
Yep, they said you're free to stay with us. Let's see. Blake shows he genuinely cares for Avon 3 times. Besides, let's see. Do you want to talk about it? He forcibly stops Villa from signaling Liberator to beam them up, not wanting to abandon Avon. Yep. And his chilling warning to Grant finding him. Yep. If Avon is harmed, Blake can be ice cold rather when he wants to be. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Avon's talk with Grant amid falling ice and ticking bomb was tense on multiple levels. The enemies working together might be time worn, but it sure delivers here. Well done, Ravenscroft.
When he's reaching in to like diffuse the elements of the bomb, I'm never going to forget the look of pain and exhaustion on Avon's face.
Yes.
It's just like, Ravenscroft was talking about the acting. I mean, this is way beyond a science fiction show from the 1970s. Paul Darrow is a very, very talented actor. And just the look on his face is so awful, isn't it? Like you just have so much empathy for him, and you understand that whatever's going on in the background, it's deep and it's lasting. And this is what you're feeling not reading a book. This is what you're feeling watching a TV show. I mean, it's just so good. I just love Paul Darrow so much. He needs his entire face smooched. He made Avon real.
He did. He absolutely did. So love him.
But we're not smooching him. You can.
You have to take care of that yourself.
Okay.
Princess Fiona gifted 1 Clobber Times membership. Thank you, Fee.
You should also know that Fee has been going on social media and sharing your channel and inviting people to come and watch. So Fee fought full foam.
Well, thank you, Fee.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did I lose Max's first one?
Oh, do you want me to go get it for you?
Let me see. I thought I had them all. Let's see. The second one is.
Are they Pokemon?
The second one is 953.
Let me go see.
853 to you.
Let me go see. I will get it for you. Don't worry about it.
I'll
Just
find
wait.
it. Oh, there it is.
No, one is there.
Well, how come I can't? I'm not finding it.
Oh, well, let me unstart and then restart it. You ready?
Yeah, this.
It's okay. It does weird stuff sometimes. This is what I mean on Saturday Night Star Trek. It does bizarre crap sometimes.
It was started before you did that, though, when I found it outside, but it wasn't in the stars.
I know, it's very strange. It does weird stuff sometimes. I do my best to make sure that it doesn't stop you up on Saturday night, but this kind of stuff is common for me.
I got you.
It's not me. It's not me.
All right.
No, it's not you, Mark. We know it's not you.
Max Redstone says, what's that? 4.23 of 7. I don't even know what that means. Plus extra credits.
It is 1 of 11 parts. He gives it an A, and he gives 4 2/3 out of 7, plus extra credit, ranked as 12th.
Dude,
and Max, your agonizer, please.
What is wrong with you? Just give me something I can read. You know I'm an idiot. What is this
You're
code?
not an idiot. Stop it.
What is this code?
It's
2 divided by 3.
No.
What?
He should have written 4.66. That would have been
What's that
easier.
supposed to mean?
4 2/3 out of 7. That's how
So
much
it's
Avon is giving.
4.66 out of 7.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just
Like a fraction.
Like when I give it, for example, a 6.5, I put 6.5 or 6.
Yeah. So he did 2/3 instead of a half
Max
because he
is
wanted
just
to go.
being,
He wanted more.
Fussy. Let him be fussy. He's Maxie.
Max,
We love
I want you
Maximum
now. I want you.
Redstone.
I want you to extend your right arm. Hold it in front of your top of your head. Bring it right to the center where it goes to the forehead. Hold it out, and then Wham! Across your head. That's an order.
Yep. 4.75 might have been easier than 4.667.
I wouldn't have got that either. I'm like, what in the 4.5? An
well,
A.
4 3/4 you'd have gotten.
Are you giving it an A? So he's only giving it a 4.34 out of a 7?
Yeah, it should be higher. Yeah, it should be higher. Like,
Yeah,
what's an A rating?
The reason I say that is because it's plus extra credit. Ranked as 12. He's got it ranked as his number 12. So I would have thought that'd have been like a 6 point, almost a 7.
Yeah, because if you divide that, that's actually a 0.66. So that's like a D average. Yeah, you gotta. Sorry, Max, but you gotta raise that score there for your fractional to go to an A. You gotta be. Oh, we said yeah. You gotta raise it, Max, because that's a 7. Yeah, but enough engineering geek nerd.
Yeah, Ravenscroft. He does do a lot with his face. And he amplifies the dialogue tenfold. Yeah. And he makes the world real. Like you believe that Avon is real. And it is quite a special thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I clipped that here. So here's that one line to his brother-in-law.
I heard you were dead.
I heard the same about you. Wishful thinking, perhaps.
I'm glad the stories were wrong. I felt cheated.
And Max, I'm just kidding with you, dude. Don't hit yourself. let Raquel hit you instead.
No, I'm not going to hit little Maxie, but he did send you a gift.
Thank you, Max.
Hey.
You didn't have to send a super chat, dude. I was just bragging on you. I have an iMac. I can copy and paste math symbols. Now I feel bad. You super chatted at me, dude. You didn't have to do that, dude. I was just ragging on you. But
you got to write your next review in Math Lab. You got to use Math
Larry
Lab.
just sent a member chat.
I see.
Did you know that Larry has been a member here for 17 months? And he says, I'm happy to be here, even if I don't say much. Well, Larry, I absolutely love you. I love your company. I love your opinions. I love hanging out with you. So I am also glad that you are here.
Yes.
Because you are a man so nice. They named you twice, but I think everyone should say your name thrice. Larry. Mwah, mwah,
You rock.
mwah.
Thank you, Larry. And I'm glad you're here, buddy. You don't have to say anything as long as we know you're here, but we're glad when you do say something. So good to see you there, brother. And Max, dude, thank you. Dude, thank you for the super chat. You didn't have to do that, man. I was just ragging on you to be, because I was tired of picking on Mark. I wanted somebody else to pick on.
Clubby, don't be too apologetic because Max Redstone is twirling his mustache in the chat.
Why I oughta. All right, here we go.
The old magic's still here. I got last clip.
You see, the old magic's still there.
The old ego, too.
You get the Blake threat? Okay.
Oh, I didn't get that one yet. Yep.
So Max says a out of 7, plus extra credit, ranked as number 12. This episode has cemented the importance of having to rework my ranking system, as I have many good episodes tied with many others. See, I didn't do any ties, but I understand I know you feel. I understand why you would want to, dude. Science fiction and Federation friction. Terry Nation, Chris Boucher, and Veer Lorimer are a creative trinity in showing what happens if a planet dares to rebel against the mighty Federation. Yep, sir. Paul Shelley is excellent as Major Provine, the quintessential projection of Federation control. And if you liked Tom Shadban as Duggan, you'll love him as Avon's would-be bro-in-law, Del Grunt. He's so different as Duggan, though, isn't he? That's what's kind of funny seeing him. Whichever most people saw Doctor Who first, although they were just around close to the same time. But he is pretty funny as Duggan. We see, hear, and feel how Avon is obliged to explain to Del Grunt why he survived and Anna didn't. Sorry, Anna. This portal unto Avon's origin steals the show from Blake's ongoing sanctimonious crusade. I like that. As in Trial, the more I watch, the less I care about Blake plot, the Blake plot. It's there and needed to advance the larger story. Even Avon isn't there to disarm the device and isn't there to disarm the device and save millions of people. Avon sticks with Del to the end because he can do it, and most importantly, he does so for the memory of the only woman he ever loved. The heroics are secondary to him at most. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I think Avon would try to save him anyway, and then find some excuse. He would never admit it, but I think he would try to save those people anyway. And then he would really be embarrassed because he doesn't want to be anything like Blake. But if he was in a situation, he may not go out of his way. But if he's there, I don't think that's, But that's just me. You might be right. That's what makes him such a fascinating study. You just don't know. What's Blake's plan? Sneak in, grab Provine, get out. No one notices. Yeah, I was always wondering about that. I mean, he was just going to sneak in and into a Federation complex and then take Provine. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But they have,
He's done dumber things.
He's done crazier things. Thing is, he does have the element of surprise and a teleport. So, I mean, I could see with that going for him. Yeah. Anyway.
Boss man, just so you know, our adopted otter son just walked through the door. Smilex is here.
Smilex, welcome.
You otter know.
Wow, welcome.
Even Smilex. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry about that, boss.
That's all right. No, I got you. But I agree with this, Max. Fanatically craptastic decision making. However, Blake does flex on Del, although Avon ices him back out in the end. Yes, sir. I've always loved the tight visual shots in closely defined spaces, the excellent fundamental visual effects, and the stunt work. You are kept in the story, and there are few wasted moments and tediousness. Serious note: inspiration for the Solium device comes from the neutron bomb enhanced radiation weapon, where the fusion reaction favors prompt lethal radiation more than blast and thermal energy. Tediousness. A means of eliminating large numbers of enemy forces and contaminating lands as a denial of entry. See On the Beach or Dr. Strangelove, both great ones. Princess Fiona can lecture better on the physics, of course. Of course. As the Cold War reached a peak in 1983, Europe would have been the flashpoint for WW3, World War III. These weapons were deployed, and their use was horrifically real. Horrifically real possibility. The end. You rock, Maximum Redstoner. Thank you, buddy.
Maximum Redstone. Did you see
the most folks I've ever seen at the clubhouse. So, a lot of people at the clubhouse. You're right. Thank you all for being here, by the way.
Did you see Fee's song?
I did.
It's hysterical.
I did.
The day the music died, she rewrote it to the lyrics discussing the fall of Star Wars.
I know, and I enjoyed it very much. We didn't have a chance. We were busy, so I couldn't.
It's a gooder. We need to save that.
Oh, okay. Well, how can I save it? I guess I can go back and
Fee, you need to
save it. Save that, Fee.
And does Doomcock know about that? You need to show that to Doomcock.
Doomcock should see it.
You need to show that to Doomcock immediately, please.
Yeah. So we've handled that one. I believe our next episode is. What?
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I did get your favorite line from the episode, so we might as well play it. It's only 6 seconds.
I got one more thing. If anything happens to Avon, I will come looking for you.
Nice.
And I did shorten the very last clip on the StreamYards is this, so if you want to make do.
The word.
Or make use, I should say.
The word.
That's a new favorite, I think.
I love it. Yes, sir. I'm here to remind you of the mess you made when you built your den, you otter, Smilex. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
So,
Alanis Morissette. Fee!
So our next episode will be Voice from the Past. All righty then. Interesting one as well. Alrighty then.
So should we move on?
Are we ready for some Night Stalkering?
We are. And you know, the great Michael Beacom sent me the image of the Night Stalker companion with the synopsis for episode 2, The Zombie. Original air date September 20th, 1974. Should I read it, boss?
Please do. I'm going to go get me some water. I forgot.
Don't forget to take your medicine.
Oh, yeah, I must take stuff. Must take some aspirin or something.
Extra water, please.
I will. So while you're doing that, you guys got it? I'll be right back.
Yep, we got it. We got your back, boss. You go
coming
ahead,
up.
sweetheart.
Be back in MO.
Okay.
Red
Yeah,
slideshow,
like
here
I
we
said,
go.
folks, I'm going to be reading the synopsis sent to me by the amazing Michael and Cassandra Beacom. So this is just an excerpt, so we're going to be copyright compliant. And this is this is written by, who wrote this book again? I forget. What's the guy's name again?
I forget too.
Dawidziak. What's his first name? Anyways, it's Dawidziak. And you can buy this book. It's called The Night Stalker Companion. Anyway.
Isn't it super expensive or very expensive to buy?
It is redonkulously expensive, like redonk. So I'm going to be reading from page 126 and 127. Let's do this. I haven't read this before, so it might be a little rough, but the writing here isn't as bad as Wikipedia, so we should be okay.
Yeah, it's professional writers. You'd hope
Exactly.
it's pretty good.
Synopsis. Working in the back of a truck, Albert Berg and Willie Pike, two low-level members of a Chicago crime family, are calculating the take from their small-time numbers racket. Their crude counting house is attacked by a seemingly unstoppable force. The police say Willie died from severe blows and label it a gangland slaying. After filing his story on Willie's death, INS reporter Carl Kolchak arrives on the scene of a standoff between police officers and the Russo brothers, two more members of organized crime. He arrives with the office intern Monique. What is it? Marmelstein? Yes, Marmelstein in tow. Tony insists that Kolchak be nice to Monique. Oh, there's a typo in the book on page 126. That Kolchak be nice to Monique, particularly since her uncle Abe, the smiling cobra Marmelstein, is the INS boss in New York. The standoff erupts into a vicious gun battle. Wow. Okay, so this writing isn't much better.
Not great either, right? Yeah.
No, it's not. Did you like that? It's not even a paragraph break. Those are two sentences put together. Yeah.
Well, they didn't have word processors back then, maybe.
Right. When Monique runs into the line of fire, Kolchak locks her in the trunk of his yellow Mustang convertible. Well, that's not really true. Monique takes out a camera and she runs towards the gunfire to catch a photograph, and the cops freak out. They're like, what is she doing? Like, she's a moron, right? So he tells her to hide behind the Mustang, but puts her in the trunk because she's an nincompoop and he's trying to save her from being killed. The Russo
there was
brothers,
no spare. I have a Mustang. There was no spare tire in that trunk, so that usually you can't fit in there. But just aside, sorry.
Look, do you have to talk about your Mustang? You're such a braggart. One day you're going to take my whole family for a ride in your Mustang. You obviously know
I won't put you in the trunk though. You can sit in the front seat.
Yeah, I don't think Andy would let you put me in the trunk.
Yeah,
okay, let's do it.
Man.
Unless we're going to the drive-in and you didn't want to pay.
Yeah.
The Russo brothers are killed, but the police have declared the site of the gun battle off limits. So Kolchak visits one of his favorite sources, Chicago morgue attendant Gordy the Ghoul Spangler. Gordy Carl tells us has struck gold in the land of the dead. Once again, writing not much better than Wikipedia. He runs a lottery based on birth years of the corpses he watches over. Gordy says that during the autopsy on the Russo brothers, the coroner asked for the x-rays showing Willie Pike's injuries. Pike, a former boxer, didn't die from severe blows. His spine was snapped. The Russo brothers died the same way. Gordy also tells Kolchak that there's something strange about the third body brought in with the Russo brothers. It's the same body he had at the morgue last week, a body containing 6 slugs and chicken blood in its ears. The mysterious dead man is a Haitian named Francois Edmonds, who had been an up-and-coming operator in the numbers racket. He's being buried in St. Lucy's Cemetery, but it's the second time he's been put in the same grave. The corpse doesn't stick around this time either. Kolchak investigation of the numbers racket puts him in the middle of an escalating war between two rival crime families. The crime suspect is Bernard Sweet Stick Weldon, Southside numbers boss and bitter enemy of the mob boss Benjamin. Okay, this is super long. I'm just going to keep going. Several of Sposato's men, including Al Berg, have had their backs broken by a giant of a man. The giant appears to be the deceased Francois Edmonds. After spying on a meeting between Sposato and Weldon, Kolchak is nearly killed by the mobsters. The report tells Sposato and his right-hand man, Victor Fries, that Edmonds is killing anyone who had anything to do with his death. So far, this just sounds more confusing than a summary. Fries reminds Sposato that he ordered the hit on Edmonds. The gangsters take the reporter out to St. Lucy's Cemetery and force him to open Edmonds' grave. Well, they actually force him to dig him up. It is empty. Seconds later, Edmonds appears and kills Fries in the same grisly manner, broken spine. Kolchak tries to tell the police that Edmonds was the dead man he saw lying in the morgue. For some reason, they find this difficult to believe. He is convinced that Edmonds is a zombie brought back from the dead by voodoo. He is more convinced when Sposato and 3 of his henchmen are found dead. Their spines have been snapped. Certainly that he has once again stumbled on the supernatural. Kolchak sneaks around the home of voodoo priestess Mama Edmonds, who, to his horror, the reporter sees that she is preparing to send her zombie killer after someone named Kolchak. Well, not just Kolchak, but the police chief. Armed with the knowledge of how to stop the zombie, our hero confronts the killer in an automobile graveyard. He succeeds. And if you want proof, you can go to St. Lucy's Cemetery, where Francois Edmonds has been buried a 3rd time. Be my guest, Kolchak.
Don Power Ranger. Don Ranger Power.
Okay, so this guy who wrote this, Mark Dawidziak. Wow, dude.
Yeah, not great writing there. Yeah.
Not great writing, and also didn't get very many facts correct. However, still absolutely love having the summary to read. Huge thank you to Michael Beacom. Bossman, tell me, what did you think of The Night Stalker, Episode 2, The Zombie?
Pretty entertaining one. Again, they're always entertaining with Carl Kolchak. Darren McGavin is terrific in it. It's a pretty fun story. It's one of the early. Well, I don't know why, but since it's been quite a while since I've watched these, this is one of the ones I remember most. Having seen it most, I guess it's because it aired so early. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's a pretty interesting one. It's kind of funny that almost everybody in this episode is already gone. But I mean, this episode, just like we noted in the first movie and the second movie, all these people you've seen in so many other things. It's one of the fun things of watching about old stuff like that. I mean, this one had Richard from Wolf in the Fold, Scatman Crothers. It had the only guy still with us, Antonio Fargas, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch. Everybody else, unfortunately, long gone, but all of them have been into something. And overall, a pretty enjoyable episode. I thought it was pretty cool.
Jamie Harbert, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Jamie. So, yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it. We just enjoyed it, and I want to get your take on it. Number one.
I took notes, but I don't know where I put my notes, but there weren't that many of them.
That's fine.
It's quite odd because I usually have them in a folder, but I'm working and I move some papers around. So
that's cool.
I think I'm going to find it in my work paperwork, which will be interesting while I'm at work. I'll
be reading about zombies and stuff, right?
Yeah. Cool. Check the Night Stalker. No. Anyway,
that's cool,
I loved this. Some people may say, oh, it's formulaic. It sort of feels like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. We know what's going to happen. It has this very safe formula that takes that always takes the same shape. I totally disagree. I think that this is just great fun. Of course, I'm a huge gothic horror fan, so I like this sort of creepy atmosphere, and something is going to potentially harm us. It's supernatural, but at the same time we have this crime. It's also in the crime genre. I absolutely love this show. For me, this is another A. I'm probably going to give the whole show A's because I just enjoy the format. I enjoy the storytelling. I like the jokes. I think the dialogue is snappy and intelligent. I like the exploration of the gothic horror elements, and there's no gore. So I like a little bit of fright. I like to be a little bit creeped out with no gore and no yucky blood and horrible things happening. And the zombie in the car with the salt in his mouth, that was super creepy, but definitely
You must have been scared of that.
That was a very scary bit. Yes.
When he pulls out that nasty,
Fish hook?
Is it a fish hook? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a fish hook to me.
To sew his lips together. Ooh. I mean,
that was scary shit right there.
It is scary. Fearless. And it's also based on true events, right? So it's based on historic folklore and storytelling within, I believe it's the Haitian community, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because,
it is. Yeah.
Because The Serpent and the Rainbow was based on a true story too, right? This whole, well, not a true story, but like the stories that people would tell, like that type of folklore. So I really like that. I absolutely love that. I know nothing about it, so if I haven't covered it properly, I do apologize. But I love this sort of thing. Just like we had that episode last week where we were in Seattle, in the catacombs in Seattle, and there's this whole Seattle underground that not a lot of people know about, and that it is very real, and that it looks just like it does in the episode. Well, here, once again, we're exploring something that's real, and that is this Haitian tradition and storytelling about voodoo and about the undead and about real zombies and people who were buried alive and people who were given that toxin that slows you down until you can't, your heartbeat can't be detected, or it's so slow it can't be detected, and meanwhile you're actually alive and you've been buried alive.
Buried alive. Yeah, I started hearing Khan in my head.
Yeah, that's okay. That's why I love you. So yeah, I love all of that, and I like that it continually has this element of truth of our mythos, human beings, and that element of truth, I think, also makes the stories that much more interesting. I love the acting. I love everything. I love the old cars, and most of all, I love the feeling of being able to watch something that isn't trying to get me to vote a certain way. I want to be able to enjoy myself again. So I would just like to thank Clobby for reintroducing this to me, because I'm pretty sure I watched it in the 70s, because some of it is overly familiar, but I just love it. It's nice to be able to enjoy TV again. So it's an A. I love Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Yeah. The first one with the Seattle Underground is amazing.
The second one, yeah.
Was that the second one?
Yeah, that was Night Strangler, the movie.
Night Strangler, yeah.
Night Strangler, the movie. Okay, so time and time again, we keep visiting these true stories, and I love the way they're packaged like this. So it was just a ton of fun, and I want more. Give me more, and I'll be so sad when it's over.
Fun, weird note, by the way. Remember the first episode? This is second episode 2. First episode was about Jack the Ripper.
Oh, yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Well, Jack the Ripper's in this one, too. He's the coroner. Red Jack.
Yeah, from QS.
Yeah, the actor, John
Fiedler.
Fiedler, right?
John Fiedler, yep.
Wolf in the Fold.
And once again, Jack the Ripper is real. Like, once again, there's that element of our history, or something that exists in our culture.
Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Good to see you.
Shalom. Hi, sweetheart.
Yeah, Jack. So yeah, I give it an A. Also love it. So and again, that the zombie stuff's pretty creepy. What do you think, Mark?
Oh yeah. I love it all around. It's not as scary as I remember. Maybe when I'm not 5 anymore, it's not as scary, but it's still.
It was back then. It was terrifying.
Yeah, especially if you watched it late at night, or
And
you're
we
home
did, yeah.
alone on a Saturday night and you're watching this. So yeah, it's a chilling episode. I do know a lot of Haitians, big Haitian community in our town, and worked with some of them for many years, and good, became very friendly with them, and talked to them about voodoo. Not too much because I didn't, but it is quote unquote real. It's a belief, and the speculation is it's people that are have been drugged and are they're really not dead, but that is a definite tradition there. And then the dialect and the accents were good. When the woman says "poppy," that's some your word that's very well used in the Haitian community. So I was kind of smiling at that. And of course, you've always got Kolchak, who is uncovering these things that are unbelievable, and no one believes him, wants to believe him, but there's no other reasoning for this. They just can't fathom anything else. So the writing is good, and Darren McGavin, I mean, he makes the show with
He's
him.
so
So
good, isn't he? He's
yeah,
great.
without him, it's not. I mean, the show is a very good show, but you got to have that.
He makes it. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
And John Platt, welcome. Good to see you again, buddy.
So nice
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see you, John. I think John comes to us from Northern Ireland, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you, John. But I just
Welcome.
wanted everyone to know that our good friend Ravenscroft, he's done for the evening. He's tapping out, and he just wants to say thanks for another night of friendship and thoughtful conversation. See you on Monday, fate's willing, Clubby. Ravenscroft, we absolutely love you. Sleep sweet. Until next time, my friend.
All right, Ravenscroft, thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you. We always
Take
appreciate
care,
it.
Yep. And of course the Vincenzo Kolchak rivalry, is so that scene where he's like, let's grab a cup of coffee. And he's like, last time you invited me out for coffee in a Danish, I ended up in Sioux Falls, Iowa, covering a hardware convention. Can a coworker take you out, for coffee? A coworker, last time you called me a coworker, I spent 3 days rewriting their obituary. So there's fun, there's that banter, and it's a little toned down now from that second movie, which I like. And
But we're yelling at each other a lot, yeah,
all the time. But it's now it's leveled off to like a fun banter, kind of like we tease each other. And
yeah, bro, it is on you, but I'm sorry, it is on Blu-ray now. They have a new Blu-ray set just came out a year or two ago.
Yeah, so pick that up if you can.
I think the movies are too. The movies are separate. They're not on that set, but I think they are on different Blu-rays.
You can pick those up on Blu-ray too. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to get that set.
So I've got a couple of trivia items. First, I want to say, the female reporter was. I love that character too, and she's like, I've got my degree. This is not nepotism, and she runs right into the fray with the camera. Right, Kolchak he's responsible for it, but she had no fear. So I loved her character, and of course she gets locked in the trunk of the Mustang and then taken back by taxi. But couple of quick trivia items from the wiki. This is the first credited appearance for Carol Ann Susie in television or film, and I think that's the female reporter. She's best remembered for being the obnoxious voice of Howard's mother on Big Bang Theory. Howard,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that I think that was her. Let's see. Yep, that was her, Carol Ann Susie. So and she passed away during the filming of Big Bang. The character Francois Edmonds is portrayed by former AFL defensive lineman Earl Tree Faison of the San Diego Chargers. He was 6'5" and weighed over 260 pounds during his playing years, making him a rather menacing foe in this episode. That's for sure. Yep.
I was big back then. Dad man, what's up, buddy?
Good. Hey, Dad man. Executive producer Paul
Glenn
left the series after this episode, allegedly over conflicts with Darren McGavin. Cy Chermark replaced Playden for the rest of the series as EP. This is a mistake here. Carl mistakenly says that Sioux Falls is in Iowa. It's a subtle joke by the writers rather than mistake, as many people rarely know where cities are located in Middle America. It does seem odd that Carl should know this. The Sioux Falls is in South Dakota, so that was just fun. And the zombie.
Before you continue, I just want to say something real quick, if you don't mind. Sorry, buddy.
Go.
John Platt. This is a show called Kolchak the Night Stalker from 1974. Was it? It's a horror show. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but we do. It's not like Columbo. Oh, it's Columbo if he were a sleazy reporter chasing monsters.
Yeah.
The great Darren McGavin is the star.
Yeah, on the screen you should see the slideshow from the episode now. And
can John? Is there any way that we could get John the URL that he could watch in Ireland?
The show? I don't know. I mean,
Does anyone know if we can watch it on archive.org or anything like that? Come on, we got an Irishman here. I want to help him. If anybody knows of the URL where John can watch it, please feel free to share it. I know our chat is really good for that because we're a tight-knit group and we're all friends. If you know of a URL or a place where John can watch it for free, that'd be cool. Please help.
Well, John might remember it. I don't know. A lot of people do. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh no, it's okay. Yep, just two more quick ones. Yep. So the zombie is only one of 2 episodes that recurring actor Jack Grinnage doesn't appear in. So I think doesn't he play one of the police captains? Yep. So he's not in it. Updike. Yeah. Yep. That's right. Yep. That's Updike. Yep. And body count was 5, includes zombie. Unknown how many more during the battle with the police. And Sweet Stick's car is the same custom Cadillac Fleetwood Eldorado. Cool car driven by Albert Popwell in the 1973 Clint Eastwood action thriller Magnet.
My dad had one of those. A few of those.
That's a cool.
You had a car lot back then.
Yeah, that was very cool. Yep. So yeah, overall,
we used to have a Cadillac lot. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, those. I mean, just you can't beat those old big 70s Cadillacs, right? I mean, just 2 gallons to the mile. But yeah, and then the writers on this episode, you might recall the name. Well, Jeffrey Grant Rice, Ezekiel Marco, and one David Chase.
Oh wow, that's from
Sopranos, and of course,
he wrote for Rockford Files too.
Rockford Files, Rockford Files.
Yeah,
many say, but those are too many. Most famous shows. Of course, there's a touch of Rockford Files in the. Not.
Yep.
A little bit of that DNA.
Imagine I can see Kolchak running into Rockford on a case,
right?
Rockford would be so chicken. Together. Rockford would be chicken to that monster. He said, "We're getting out of here."
Chicken. Not chicken in his ears, I hope. John, I just put a URL in the chat, and that is for archive.org, and you can download the shows from there, or you can just watch them from there. And there are 3 people who have the complete series on archive.org. So go ahead and access that URL if you want to watch along with us.
For sure, yeah, and I'm gonna try to do watch parties for this show too. I haven't had a chance yet because I've been uber busy. So I do a Blake 7 watch party.
What? That'd be great. Did you hear that? Mark is going to do a watch party for this. That's great.
So maybe we'll catch up. We're only in the 2nd episode, so maybe we'll do the first. Start with these 2 episodes. I'm thinking of doing like a late night one too, because you should be watching Kolchak late at night. But usually you can find this is a popular enough series. Blake 7, is not as popular. Audience is more selective, but although it is easy to find on BritBox and other places, but I'm thinking Night Stalker should be relatively. It's a relatively popular cult TV show, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. But yeah, it's on Peacock. Yeah, the trick is to buy it for a month and watch it, and then cancel the streaming service. I have friends who do that. They
yeah,
keep it for a few months, watch all the shows they want to watch, and then go back to free. Yep.
Yeah,
I'll try to do a watch party for these. But yeah, I'm giving this one an A-. I think it was good, and just the Kolchak makes this show with with the reporting. He's his character is great, and that guy doesn't get scared. I mean, I'd be pretty damn scared of the mafia guys too, right? When they gets caught with the tape recorder and he pushes the button.
Journalist.
Yeah,
he is a pure reporter. Back when they had those, remember?
Yeah,
yeah. And he's like, "I'll give you a name." Yeah. Back when you went for the story mattered, not other things. We'll just leave it at that. But, wherever this truth takes us, right? And good. So it's all around great stuff. Yeah.
There you go. Love it.
Yep. So, but sleep well tonight. Don't be too scared because Kolchak took out like 22 monsters in all, right, in the show. So we're much safer thanks to him. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, so that was great. Do you all think we have time to go on to our next to do our Star Trek comic or what? Are you game or what?
I'm game.
I'm always game.
Are you ready for that number one?
Yep. Well, here's one comment here I just want to mention. Sorry to interrupt, but it seems like a 70 version of the X-Files. Well, actually, the X-Files was inspired by this series. So,
yeah. Chris Carter cites this show as his primary inspiration for creating and doing the X-Files.
Yep.
I learned that last week from you guys. I just put the URL in the chat for tonight's episode. So if you just wanted to follow that exact person has uploaded them and allows you to download them or watch them live. Don Power Ranger, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Cool.
But if you can buy the Blu-ray, it's very, very cool to have. Yeah.
Okay, so Larry, my wonderful friend, my Larry, who I love, Clobby's going to start teaching us about, well, at least he'll be teaching me, a nerd who knows nothing about comics, about Star Trek Unlimited. This is a great comic, and I'm so excited to get started on it. I read this double issue last week or the week before, and I'm super stoked to learn more about it. What? Fee's leaving? Good night, Fee.
Fee, are you leaving us? I'm leaving us. Oh, no.
Oh, she's tired.
Have a great night, Fee. Thank you for popping in. We appreciate you.
Night, sweetheart.
Next up, folks, it's back to reviewing Star Trek comics because we love it. And here, of course, our unbelievably fantastic first officer made us an intro for our comics review segment. So let us get started right now. Here we go.
Warp drive, Mr. Scott. Ahead warp 1, Mr. Sulu. Accelerating to warp 1, sir.
Yes, indeed. Big round of applause for number one. What a beautiful job.
Beautiful.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you. So let's see. Tonight, of course, folks, we embark upon a new journey, a 10-issue journey. This comic is. Let me get this pulled up here. Okay. It is Star Trek Unlimited by Marvel Paramount Comics from 1996, November cover date. And basically this series, for those who may not know, this is a double-sized premiere issue. Each one of them contains 2 comic book stories, one TOS adventure, one TNG story. So, that's this one here. Even though the original series crew is on the cover, and why wouldn't they be? Because they're the coolest. But it starts with the TNG story, and we will show that right now. This is scans aren't the greatest, but you can see it. That's all that matters. So. And there's ads. See. So here we go. This is Star Trek Unlimited #1, Space, the Final Frontier. These are the sleepings the voyagers of some ship that I'm commanding. I'm bold and I'm tired. Leave me alone. I'm a grouchy old man on the starship. Enterprise, duh. And then, never mind. Sorry. I'm kidding. Story called Directives. Writers Dan Abnett and Ian Eddington, who wrote another series we reviewed a while back called Star Trek The Early Voyages. Pencilers, a lot of people worked on this one. Pencilers, Ron Randall, pages 4, 7, 9, and 13. Carlos Garzon, pages 14 and 22. Jerome Moore, another well-known Trek artist sometimes, 1 through 3. And issue number 8. Inkers, the great Al Williamson. I repeat again, the great Al Williamson. And Derek Fisher. Colors, Team Abusey. And that means a whole team of nondescript, I should say, sorry. Individuals. Colored it. Letterer Phil Felix. Assistant editor Polly Watson. Editor Bobby Chase. Editor and chump Bob Hare A.S. So.
Boss man, I
Yes.
just want to interrupt very quickly because I want everyone to say goodnight to Brogu. Brogu, good night, sweetheart. I love you so
Good night,
much.
Brogu.
You also have a wonderful weekend.
Yes.
And we will remember Brogu when he says this is the way. Love you so much.
All right.
Mwah, mwah. See you soon.
Okay, Brogu, be good, my friend. Okie dokie. Well, and of course, more important than this comic are mini M&Ms because I used to love these things. So go get you some in these little container thingies. Go get you some mini M&Ms. All right. So let's see here. Captain's log. Stardate 479905.2. Hike. The Enterprise has been sent to do something. I can't remember because I don't really read the orders or anything. I just let number 1 handle it at this point. I'm too tired. And so I say, you take that android fella and go handle things, please. Says, sure. So I just sit up here in my ready room drinking Earl Grey and looking at my fish. Sorry.
No, he doesn't feed the fish. Remember,
yes, I let them starve.
He's against the fish tanks. Remember?
Oh yes,
that's animal abuse.
Right, let them starve, the bloody fish bastards. So anyway, so this episode, I'm sorry, folks, we're gonna take it seriously. I'm just kidding. They go. M-class planet on the outskirts of Federation space.
Mm-hmm.
Because the inskirts could not be reached for comment. The host,
Cloppy.
sorry.
Oh God.
The host race. I'm sorry. The host race have reached a turning point in their development and are on the brink of becoming an interstellar culture of weasels. Culture. Sorry. I know the Federation's really Starfleet Command's angry with me because I'm always messing up my log entries and making stupid jokes. Sorry. Our objective is to establish Federation contact with the Endrel. However, upon arrival, we found Andrella in the grip of a global natural disaster. Okay, now we're going to take it serious from there, folks. I got to set it up for you. So, as you can see, this is around season. The story looks like it takes place around one of the last seasons because it's got that
DS9
the coat thingy that number 1 likes so much.
Yep, he gets a special coat. He's special.
I can't remember now. You did or you didn't like that?
Well, the thing is that he didn't like the uniforms, Poopy Stew. He didn't like the uniforms, so he basically said that he wanted everyone to be far more relaxed. Lisa!
Hey, Lisa.
Lisa?
Yeah. I mean,
he felt that
yeah.
that the costumes on set should be far more relaxed. So what he did is he bitched and whined and moaned,
Right.
and
This
went
is
to
much later.
his chiropractor and had his chiropractor write a note for him stating that he could not wear the uniforms as created or conceived of
How do
by
clothes hurt
Gene
your back?
Roddenberry because it was ruining his back.
That worked.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I was like thinking later they had came up with this get up for the captain where he has the gray under the jacket thing. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that I know what you're talking about. I just want to everyone to know that this is the sucky baby whiny crybaby uniform
Patsy Poopy Stew.
worn by a man who has to call a full staff meeting in order to take a wee, and it's just a big whiny crybaby. So all of you out there in Star Trek land who think that this is a cool uniform, just remember this uniform exists because he's a whiny crybaby in real life.
And then every time they got up from a chair, they had to pull their jacket down.
Exactly.
In perpetuity.
Yeah, and then worst of all, he does an interview with Vulture magazine and says that, you know, that his version of Star Trek is going to be more like Marvel, and now of course everyone just looks ridiculous in his stupid Poopy Stew show. So I guess to answer the boss's question, Captain, my captain, I'm so sorry. But I'm just going to say that my opinion on this uniform is
boy, ask a silly question.
Yeah. You didn't ask a yes or no. You didn't say yes or no. I mean,
it's the whiny baby, sucky baby. Where?
I walked right into that one.
You walked into it. Yeah. You got clobbered.
I glided into that one. So anyway, play your video games. So what's going on here anyway? They land on this planety thing, and they find this device digging into the planet, and it's like it's stabbing the world in the face. So much so that they say, "My God!" I think you can get sent to the brig for saying that. So they're down there trying to figure out what's going on here, and Rekirk gets attacked, and Worf blasts him. This was kind of we got Hot Wheels and honeycombs. Honeycomb, yep. Anyway,
love me some honeycombs. Yep.
Yeah, and so he's pissed at Worf for what are you pissed at him for? He's a security officer. A guy attacked the commanding officer, and he knocked him out. What's wrong with that? I appreciate your help, Mr. Worf, but I can fight my own battles. What are you, a Klingon now, Riker? Shut up. So they beam this yellow doofus face into sick bay, and things are not particularly interesting going on here. But it's an okay story, but I like this ship right here. It's a good shot. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, that ship looks like the structure of Vendrella's surface. So I just read this and I'm trying to remember what happened. You read it too, Mark, right?
I did. This is the one that is exactly like Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. So the whole thing is psychohistory if everyone would have listened to Hari Seldon. So they would have acted on psychohistory. So they would have acted on the mass actions calculations through mathematics. And that's what this race does. This race is not only completely preoccupied with psychohistory, but this would be what it would be like if everyone in the Galactic Empire listened and took action and stopped it.
Yes.
That's the idea, but that's the idea behind it, and that's what's unfolding here. So if you're familiar with the beautiful, gorgeous, delicious series foundation by Isaac Asimov, I certainly am, then this will be a very familiar story idea. And here they tweak it, they play with the psychohistory a little bit, and they make the aliens somewhat less sure, and more kind of like, well, we're going to prevent things. So it's kind of like, I don't know, they took some of the elements of the episodes where there was some time traveling to correct things in the past, and then some elements of Isaac Asimov's Foundation, and just sort of smooshed those two things together, made them have an ugly kiss, and it works. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. I actually really like it.
It's just a good story. Absolutely. I was just goofing off. I mean, it's a good story. I can't help but laugh at
the art's really good too, I have to say. I think
good job on the art. With that many people working on it, you better be doing decent art. And again, I have a rule of thumb with Star Wars or Star Trek comics that I need to work to make them palatable for me. You can't look. You can do anything with any character that's a comic book character, any kind of interpretation of or interpretive art, an artist doing his own thing with it. But when you're adapting a TV show that's well known or a movie's well known, I want it to look like I'm reading it on a comic book page. I want it to look like the show. I want the hardware to look right. I want the characters to look right. And if however you can do that, I don't mind it being something like relatively simplistic art if it reflects the show. And actually, this is Al Williamson here. He is just terrific with his background. He's one of the greatest artists of all time. And at this point in his career, he was not doing a lot of pencil work. This was very, very toward the end of his career. One of my favorite artists, but he was doing a lot of inking. He was an embellisher, and he did a lot of inking on this one, and I see his style through it. So
you can see it bleeding through, quote unquote. Yeah. Yep.
I can tell when Al Williamson inks something.
I have to interrupt, even though it's super rude. I'm so sorry, but Oliver Belamonte just walks through the door, and Patrick says, I need to head off to bed. We are off on vacation starting tomorrow. I'm heading to the USA to see our son. Wow. Number one, are you by any chance going to be at the Calgary Expo this year? I'd love to buy your book. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is so cool. I will check and see if I am able to get to the Calgary Expo, because I recently got a job teaching. And so now I'm trying to balance my new book launch for the second book, my job, and this podcasting, and then of course my life in the background. So if I'm able to make it, I would love to meet you, Patrick. That would be so cool.
Absolutely.
I will check my calendar and see. And now that I know you're going to be there, I'm definitely going to try and make it.
Great to see you, Patrick. Thanks for being here.
Good night, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
And travel safe and have a wonderful time visiting with your son.
Yes. I'm glad you have a better memory than me, that you can remember more of the story than I can. I liked it, but you describe it better than me. So if you'd like to continue.
So basically what ends up happening is these aliens, they go in and they start affecting this race that is about to fall into the purview of Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets, insofar as they're about to have the technological ability to have warp technology, which is, of course, the test for whether or not we can make first contact. But these aliens come along and they start doing horrible things to their planet to prevent the natural evolution of this species. And and of course, Picard tries to figure out what's happening, and there's a big hullabaloo, and they come to blows over it, and they figure out what's happening, and then in the end, they have this big argument over whether or not they should be interfering. What would be worse, and what is more powerful, the Prime Directive, and so there's this philosophical argument, and I can't really remember how it ends because it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, no, I got you. Yeah, but Mark, do you remember a lot of it as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it. Yeah, because it's a classic, prime directive conflict. So these aliens are have these seismic machines that are wrecking the planet. So as as I'm not, what page are we up to here? But as Jordy says, yeah, there you get global ash cover and nuclear winter style. I'm not going to use the words because of YouTube algorithm. It's going to mess up the planet and the weather on the planet.
Yes.
So I'm going to avoid those words, but they actually have those words in the comic. And what year was this comic? 99?
96. So it was weird. It was
96.
not meaning the same thing that it means now. But
Yeah. So just avoid those words for the algorithms, of course. Then the aliens, it turns south, but it's a great, it's a great typical Star Trek setup. This is, I could see this being made as an episode of TNG, and it probably would be better than a lot of episodes. I think
it would have been better than every movie they ever made.
Yes, well, that's true. Yeah.
Because it follows the Isaac Asimov idea of if you know what's going to happen with that race and it can be planned or it can be predicted, do you act on it? Good night, Michael Beacom. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. You were such an amazing person. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, buddy. Good night. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know what happened. You know how bad my short-term memory is. I read it yesterday, and I'd read it once before, way back when. But what's wrong with me? I don't understand. I'm drawing kind of a blank. It was a good story. I remember liking it, and then I'm kind of just fuzzy.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to remember too, but I'm skimming the comic now again. But Data says they would rather exterminate a third of the world's population to prevent a deadly genetic flaw from arising 1,000 years hence. So
yes, the genetic flaw, the development. That is correct, Mark.
Yeah. Well, it's on the screen in front of me, so my memory.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking down at my actual physical comic. I'm sorry. I probably seem ridiculous to everyone.
No. But I appreciate it. But I'm not. I don't want to take too much credit when I have it in front of me. Forced to be relocated an entire civilization to save them from a sun that would die in 50,000 years. So that's where the prime directive. So they're predicting the future of what's going to happen. But currently, Starfleet. You've got the prime directive, but what does it say? What's going to happen? Because they're kind of following their own prime directive. So Data says this is their equivalent of our prime directive. It's extreme, but no less valid. So there's a gray area, which is fantastic for Star Trek to examine. It's not that they're evil and they want to, although their manipulations could be considered evil. Changing the fate of a species. They're not trying to wipe them out. So it's a really interesting take. So, Riker's furious about, he can't allow this to happen. And they say it'll take 900 years to achieve and kill millions. So it's just a great quandary here. And that's what you always like about Star Trek, where you're not sure of which side. Not always, but you're not sure. It's not obvious who's correct here. So it's really a well done episode, and the character likenesses are great too. Because you haven't read that many comics, Raquel, but a lot of times the characters look nothing what you're looking at. So it's that part of the episode is. So you got me saying episode now instead of comic.
Because when they're good, they are episodes. So like on the one page, it says, the alien says, "I do not understand why you are insulting us like this, Captain." And he means their interference. He says, "Your desire to prevent our aiding the Endrel is abhorrent. You are depriving them of their destiny." And Picard returns, "I understand, but I will not let millions die like this. There has to be another way." He says, "I have great respect for you and your people and do not wish to enter into conflict with you because of this." And the alien says, "We do not matter, but the Endrel do. Would you let them suffer?" "No, with all of my heart, I would not." Picard out. And then that's when Deanna comes in and they have this big conversation. She says, "Am I intruding?" He says, "Not at all, counselor. What can I do for you?" "Well, everyone else is so busy except for you and I thought you might like to talk." Once again, I am faced with a terrible choice. Whatever I decide, many lives will be lost today. Sorry, excuse me. I must choose between the lesser of two evils, but which one? Captain, when the preservers manipulated the DNA of all of the humanoid races thousands of years ago, they made a choice that changed the face of the galaxy forever. Without their intervention, we might not exist. And of course, that's from Star Trek Next Generation, The Chase.
The Chase, yes.
Yep.
Everything has to be judged on its own merits and a choice made. Everyone on board trusts your judgment. They know you'll do what you always do, the right thing. Sickbay to Captain Picard. Doctor, Jean-Luc, come to sickbay right away. There's something you must see. Is there a problem with the technician Volode? No, he's only sedated. Thanks to the Loam biodata, he's well enough to go back to his ship. In fact, the biodata is the reason I called you down here. As you can see, it looks straightforward. No great shocks or surprises, or so I thought until I looked closer, or I took a closer look. Enterprise to Lom Cruiser Molalod.
Molalod, yeah.
Yeah, Captain Picard, I did not expect to hear from you again so soon. Have you reconsidered your proposition? I am merely informing, not at all. I'm merely informing you of your crewman's return and that we are about to deactivate your seismic installations. Initiate neutrino pulse when ready, Mr. LaForge. Pulse initiated, Captain. Scans show all installations are offline. Tectonic activity is stabilizing. Thank you, Mr. LaForge. Picard, what have you done? Your principals have forced a confrontation neither of us wanted. Now you leave me no choice. Captain, the Molaloid has raised shields and charged her forward batteries. Do not respond, Mr. Worf. Decisionary Obol
Yeah.
prepare to receive incoming data. This is our own biodata. Indeed, and something extra. When Dr. Crusher examined technician Volod using it, she detected a seemingly insignificant congenital blood defect, a defect which, if left unchecked, will eradicate your race within 1,000 years. And so this is the big turning point in the story when they realize that they're tinkering with the destiny, as they say, the destiny of this species, this species that's about to break warp, and then and they're so sure that if they eradicate this species that they'll save lives. And meanwhile, it's discovered by Beverly Crusher that it would also mean their ultimate end. And so that draws the whole thing to a close, where they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't wipe out this race after all. And it's a happy ending, and it's pretty darn good.
That is pretty good stuff.
It is.
But did they wipe themselves out?
No,
the alien race, right? They're all gonna be,
no. They learned. I
know.
the lesson.
I'm joking, but yeah. But that's the brilliance of the lesson. Like, I mean, well, of course they weren't going to wipe the whole planet out, but just the majority of it to have perfection on the planet, I guess. But
but it would have forced a nuclear winter.
Yeah, no, it would have, but it wouldn't have killed everyone. It would have. They were trying to eradicate a genetic quote unquote defect. To prevent
but millions would
50,
die
000.
and it would force a nuclear winter. So it would have been insanely bad. But thanks to Beverly Crusher and Picard, they get it figured out. And it's actually a really good story. And like I said, relies very heavily on the idea of psychohistory and this idea that Isaac Asimov had about, if you had the technology and the predictive ability and you could find correlation and decipher correlation and causation, you could figure out, how to tinker with things in order to save lives, would you? And here it just shows that if you're tinkering with that you wind up killing a bunch of people for nothing. And so it's a good story. I enjoyed it.
Indeed. And now we have the second story in the comic. Sorry. Excuse me. Let's see.
Oh, and I hate to mention it too, but unfortunately, STD is using that storyline, I guess, in this season because Wagner
Why?
made that great meme. You know, who was in the chase, the race in the chase. They're using that in
Preservers.
preservers.
Yeah,
Thank
Oh,
the
you.
they're
Yeah,
using the
preservers.
preservers. Oh
they're
boy.
trying to use them as a life preserver.
They're also
for
using
this season.
starships to scoop up avalanches. So you know.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Yeah, Wagner made a great meme out of that.
Right before I went on the air last night, I was listening to Doomcock and they were talking about that. He was forcing those poor people on this panel to review that trash. The new season, the episode of the season. I mean, Doomcock, you torturer, buddy.
How is
anyway,
he? I haven't hung out with him in a few.
I haven't either. But
he survived the episode.
Well,
in a while.
he did. I mean, he's torturing himself clearly because he made him
I
watch.
love
himself.
him.
Watch that. We loved Doomcock.
He must have nearly blown off the helmet.
Right as I had to go on the air, I heard him say, "This is," I quote, "it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen on STD," and that's saying something. So I'm like, and I was skeptical. So I'm like, wow, that's so much stupid. I can't. I mean, and then of course later when Mark and I were talking about it, it is. I say, you know, and I asked some other people who've actually watched it all. Mark, I've even asked Mark. He said, well, it's certainly up there with the stupidest things they've ever seen in there. And this,
oh my God.
They used 2 starships to crash into a planet to like spoons to scoop up an avalanche.
What?
Kind of like Bob the Builder would do.
Gwag clipped it and showed me a picture.
Oh, poor Gwag.
Stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah.
Gwag must have been horrified.
It's so stupid. Everyone's making fun of it. Anyway,
Wow.
however, this story, again, Dan Abnett and Ian Eddington, the team who wrote the last story. Artist, Mark Buckingham has been around a bit. Inker, Kev F. Sutherland, Phil Felix, letterer, Kevin Summers, the colorist, Bobby Chase, editor, and Bob Hair Ass, editrix, and Shebilgis. Anyway, Captain's Log, stardate. Now I can remember this one better for some reason, so I'm fine. But Captain's Log, stardate, a 597.3 hike. The Enterprise's routine mapping survey of the Lotora star group has been interrupted by a distress call from a Federation vessel, which has brought us to the uncharted planet Lotora 3 and into the hands of an implacable foe, the Gorn. Pretty good art here, I think. Anytime you make
God, I love this comic.
This is a good one here. And again, this is
the other story was good too. And you already know I'm not the biggest fan of TNG.
I know, but a good story is a good story.
But a good story is a good story. And this is such, and you know, another thing too about this that is different than anything else you've shown me before is that this comic, oh, hello, Don Kingsley, Donkey Kong Channel.
Don Kingsley, hello.
Oh boy. So,
hey,
okay.
What are you writing?
I don't know, but that might have to be put in timeout.
Are you spamming?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Sweetheart, you know what I have to say about this comic that is totally different than the other comics you've shown me? Is Clubby. This one is actually taking the time to tell a story. These stories are much longer.
Yeah, it was a bigger issue.
Yeah, right? There's so much, the storytelling is so much better because they're taking the time to tell the story. It's terrific.
Yeah. What is it with this? Somebody's deleted the messages. Okay. I don't know. Whoever's doing it, you're fine with me.
Well, he was trying to learn the alphabet, so God bless him.
Thank you very much. Oh, sterilized. Thank you, Larry. Love you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, boss, but I just had to, before we got started, I just had to compliment you on the fact that finally you're not brushing up against a story for just, 4 or 5 pages and it's just all art. In this Star Trek Unlimited, there is actual storytelling and it's so enjoyable. I really, really like this.
I'm glad you did. I didn't know if you were going to like this book or not, but I've liked it. It's been what I've seen of it. I've liked it before, and I've read it before just in passing. They're 10 issues, so hopefully there'll be a lot of good stuff here. And this is one of them. I like the art by Mark Buckingham. I've always kind of liked this stuff, and he's
and way longer. Like, give me a story, and this one does give me a story.
Yeah, it feels more closer to like an episode length type thing.
Yeah, exactly. And what's crazy is that in this comic, both stories are so good.
Yeah, and I love this one. Basically, and usually when you do a sequel to an episode of the comic, you're always like, oh boy, this is going to dredge up something, but they do a decent job here. So
the art's not as good further. Did they change artists in between?
Yeah, this
these
is
first few pages.
No, it's all Buckingham. I mean, sometimes it got.
See what's the next page?
You did an inker. Yeah, I know. Well, they're smaller
Kirk
scans.
looks really horrible in that.
This is a double page right here.
Yeah, I have the single copy, but if you go up a little bit or go back a little bit, excuse me, or down or forward. Yep.
All right. Well, let's go. Just take a look. Basically,
well, you're just going anyway. Yep.
Yeah, I'll get there. So he gets hailed by the Gorn ship. This is Captain James C. Kirk of the Federation Starship Enterprise. We are on a peaceful mission, peaceful rescue mission. Explain your unprovoked assault.
This is Salath of the Gorn hegemony. You are known to me, human Kirk. We have before eye to eye. We have fought, sir. We have fought before eye to eye.
Nick!
What? Is he?
Hey,
Nick! What's up,
from
Nick?
my captain, and Nick walks through the door. Hey.
Yes.
People, have you ever met our friend Nick Weiser? If you
Yeah.
are
He's a
not
wise
following
dude.
32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, you should. He's like one of the sweetest human beings. He has great taste in music, great taste in food, and is a sweetheart of a human being. Anyway, Clobby,
Good buddy,
more
and
Gorn!
yeah.
More
Put your-
Gorn!
And Nick, put your link in the chat. So everyone, if in case you have not, please go subscribe
I got him
to my
there.
good buddy Nick's channel. And I talk about him every night here, of course. So
More Gorn!
So yeah, basically he says, you're the warrior I was pitted against by the Metrones.
Mhm.
All the more reason you should explain this attack, Saleth. I thought the battle was an object lesson for both of us.
Last time, our dispute may indeed have been the result of misunderstanding, human Kirk, but not now. Your presence here has provided that the Federation is not to be trusted. You have violated our territory, have defied our faith.
Dude, I love
Ouch.
you. Have I
That
told
hurts.
you lately how much I love you?
Oh, you're too kind, but boy, that hurts. Let me get some water.
Oh no, your Gorn is cherry, baby.
Oh.
It's cherry.
Here we got more though. Again,
Okay.
you want more? We do
Yes.
some more Gorn.
Just one more. Just one more Gorn.
If you are
Finish the
seeking,
page.
Okay, dope.
if you are seeking mercy, surrender your ship and submit to trial by our inquisitors for your crimes. Otherwise, I will show you the mercy of a swift death.
God, I love the Gorn. This is such a good comic. This is a good comic.
Sorry, and Dega Outlaw, what's up?
Hey,
apologize-
Dega. Clubby, I love your Gorn. I've been telling you that
Oh.
for 4 years, but I
Oh,
love your
thank you.
Gorn.
Oh, I'm sure there are better Gorns out there, but I've tried.
There are not
I-
better Gorns out there.
I
You are
look at
the
it more-
OG Gorn.
I look at it as more of a Ted Cassidy than a Gorn. Well, because he did the voice. Oh boy, that hurts. Wow, but
Sorry,
it's worth
boss.
it.
You don't have
No,
to
no.
do anymore.
I want to. I love the Gorn. That would be because with the Gorn never got to say that much. You should know.
No, I wish they. Yeah, I love Gorn.
Oh, thank you, Rob.
Yeah, Rob Altus. It's Gorn perfection.
Of course, an original Star Trek Arena. So basically, referring to Arena, folks. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Lord of Four. Okay, then it goes. Then 2 hours earlier, I guess they're Tarantino all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So they go back. They beam down to the planet. To this planet that they found this goofball on by himself who's digging up artifacts and stuff. Names, what's his name? Holm Bayanin. Professor Bayanin, that is, University of Colorado Field Archaeology Program. Captain Kirk of the Enterprise. So basically, they're here to. He's the only one on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And he is, if I leave anything out, number one, you don't, please feel free. In fact, if you want to take it for a minute.
No, but
You
RRTNZ is your boss, and he left you a gift.
Hey! Oh, RRTNZ, thank you, buddy. You're too kind. He says, Hail, Clobby, go listening on my drive home. Got into a discussion about God Loves, Man Kills. Today, have you reviewed that recently? Cheers. Well, as a coincidence would happen, our good buddy, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, who is here on his channel not more than about a month or two ago, the Friday Night Comic Shop boys, along with myself, reviewed that very classic X-Men graphic novel. Nick, if you're still here, grab that link to that review and
Yes,
put it in there.
And share
yeah,
it.
very new. We did review it indeed, sir. So yes, and it was excellent. And if Nick is already gone, well, I'll grab it for you and put it in there. There you go, Nick. Oh yeah, put it in there, Nick. That was just what, last month? Yeah, it was not too long ago.
Let me dig for that. All right, Nick.
Yeah, RRT and Z. I think you'll enjoy that. So on good buddy
Snag
Nick's
it.
channel, we review comics over there, just as we review them over here, and yeah.
Right, John Platt? It's so true. Maybe that's what made all of the Gorn mystique.
Yes.
I will be merciful, Captain. And of course, you're right, sir.
He's Lurch. He's the Gorn captain. He's Rock from What Are Little Girls Made Of?
The old ones.
Oh man, I can't do it anymore. Boy, that freaking hurts.
Sorry, honey.
No, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's see. Look at McCoy. He's got the blue eyes, honey.
I love him. I miss DeForest Kelly. Jackson DeForest Kelly, wherever you are on the other side, I love you.
You can see he used pictures here he used still shots to draw from, especially right there. Look at that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, a lot of artists do that,
Oh,
especially when
that's
they're drawing.
cool.
See, when they were drawing it, here's the thing: they made this deal with Paramount, so they got the license. But there were times when you weren't supposed to draw too much like the actor because you could,
Yeah.
But I guess I
They
think
got permission.
He did. Look at McCoy's face. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That's from an episode.
That's just very interesting insight that I wouldn't have considered. I love you. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
our RTNZ left you another gift, boss.
Thank you, buddy. You're too kind. Thank you, R. He says, "Did you hear about the guest actor on Arena who stole Shatner's toupee? Like Kirk Shatner took it in stride. Just said, hair today, Gorn tomorrow."
But I'm bumped.
Good night, Dad, man.
Good night, Dad, man.
Yeah, buddy. Well, there you go. Look, there it is. God Loves, Man Kills by the Friday Night Comic Shop boys.
Yes.
RR, take a look at that. There's the
Get
link.
it. Go get it.
That was a great time we had. Love. I have so much fun reviewing comics. It's great. Whenever doing so, like tomorrow night when I go on J-Man's, our FF review. So anyway, this story, basically they're talking. Again, y'all number one, if you want to take it for a bit and explain what's going on, feel free. If you want to, you don't have to.
No, you go ahead.
So all right, basically they're unloading this guy's stuff. Look at that shot of Scotty. I mean, that's right from an episode with that crazy third season hair he had.
Yep.
Professor's drawn like a cartoon character though, with that
see,
long face.
Looks like but everybody else looks like actors. Look at Spock. This is definitely from stills, from shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine with me, by the way. This should look like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I love this shot right here of the ships.
Yeah, that's a gooder. That's a gooder.
We've never seen Gorn ships, so they had to make them up, but that's pretty cool.
They're wicked. They're totally cool.
Yeah.
I like your insight here, you and Mark, because I'm noticing what you're saying about how if you're using pictures, then everyone looks real, and then the minute you have to invent the character, it looks more cartoonish. I'm just struck by that insight because it reveals so much about the artwork here. It is something
know,
that
Yeah.
you notice, and then when you're told that, you actually notice it even more.
Well, they used to not be able to do that.
well,
Mhm.
see, my version doesn't look this pretty. I'm wondering if this has been rescanned or redone.
No, it's
I'll have to.
yeah. This has ads.
He only
So-
has one long
But-
face in my comic book that's in front of me.
I know, but it's been
What's that?
recolored though. It looks maybe it's from a trade. It's from a
You got to
trade.
know
That's why.
this is not from a trade. It's got ads.
But I'll share
Actually,
my.
it's only got some ads.
But
See,
here,
look,
like I'll
see-
share
see,
my.
It's got that. Look, it's got ads and
Yeah,
stuff.
Yep.
but mine looks totally different. Here, I'll share. Well, when you're done, I'll share my screen after. And
You got it from that disc. You might have yours
no,
from that.
I got from the CD,
CD?
from the
Yeah,
CD.
from the CD, the disc. Yeah,
Looks
There was a
totally
disc.
different.
a disc was done. But back in the 2000s, they did. Marvel did a bunch of like discs and stuff like of different things. FF, Spider-Man, and Star Trek that has every comic. For example, every issue of the Fantastic Four, or in this case, every Star Trek comic. In fact, I think that wasn't Marvel, that was somebody else that had every Star Trek comic from the very beginning to like 2002 or something, or at some point, and that's where it stopped. So it had everything, and that you have that disc. I know I have a copy of it on a thumb drive, and I have a copy of that. The FF ones, the Spidey ones. So maybe that's what this is something different. Oh, this might be from that too, because this is not a trade paperback at all. You can tell.
Okay, but it looks. I'll show you after. It looks. My copy's not as clean.
2008 CBS Studios. That means it's from that. I think that might be from the disc. This might be from the disc too. That's weird. So let's see. Anyway, yours looks different from this.
Yeah. I'll show you. Yeah, how the art looks. Here, I'll just share it now. Yep.
Go ahead.
Which is weird. Yeah. But see how it looks. It's not as clear.
Oh, it is weird.
And the art doesn't look as good.
This is full page scans too.
Yeah, and this is from the CD. Yep. So see, the art's not as good.
This is from the CD. Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Weird.
bad art, but see, that's the last page.
I
Yeah.
have
That is different.
yeah, Larry
different?
Larry is correct. He and I we have the actual comic.
So
Now,
what does
this
the
is-
comic look like?
This is scanned probably from the IDW. I mean, the Eagle Moss reprints. Eagle Moss
okay.
did some trades. Yes, that Eagle Moss, the one that went out of business for making all. They did some trades, right? Because that looks like a trade. Because it didn't have any
Yeah.
ads, and they did these trades that weren't the greatest. They were like small size. They did it for Early Voyages. They did it for some of the other Paramount books, and that might be what that's from. Because the one I have is someone just did it as a scan from the comic itself. It has the ads.
I
So
don't
anyway.
read digital things.
I do. I love them because I'm
I
lazy.
don't.
Let's see
And
how that
every time I
what
walk into a
pages
comic
did.
book shop, I tell everyone about you, and I feel so proud because I know that if you had a comic book shop again, that I would get to meet you. And
Yes.
so I always make sure that I buy comics locally from someone who's just like you.
Well, I
I
mean,
was just going to show you. See how it's the same page? How different it looks.
what?
So here, Jim, a word, right? Now look at the art on this one.
Yeah, this is full scan, and that's got to be from the Eagle Moss reprints.
Yeah, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the coloring on that.
Thank you,
on the
Steve,
other
and
one.
thank you, Nick.
Yeah, right, Nick.
Yeah, that's from the Eagle Moss. Pretty
Yeah.
sure. And these are taken from the full because the Eagle Moss books, they were kind of dull dulled down character. Reprints.
Okay.
In other words,
yeah.
I mean, their colors were kind of faded or
Muted,
faded,
yeah.
muted colors. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I stepped away for 2 eggs of a puppy's tail because I had to go to the little girl's room. Did we talk about this story while I was
No,
gone?
not at all. We were just
Oh, okay.
we're
Talk
talking
about
about
the art.
the art, so
Okay.
printing. Okay, so Wow. Okay, I'm going to open up a comic shop. You all talked me into it. Not a chance in hell, by the way.
There we go.
I never want to be in that business again.
I know.
Not modern day. Well, you wouldn't. If you come and looking for new comics, you'd be disappointed.
It's
I wouldn't
such a
mind opening
romantic
some new
idea
deals.
to have you own a comic book shop again, though. I mean, this is your virtual comic book shop, and I'm just happy that I got to be here with
Yeah.
you. But yeah.
Well, yes. Thank you so much. I'll tell you
If
what.
it weren't for you, I never would have read a single comic.
Oh, well, I'm glad you are, though. I'm loving it. So, basically, let's see. McCoy comes along and tells him medical opinion on Mr. Bannon. He's not been entirely honest with us. What do you mean, Bones? I've run a full analysis on Bannon. He's fit and healthy because he's pumped so full of antiviral agents that any bug or infection would drop dead the moment it touched his skin. His immune system has been artificially enhanced and with cutting-edge medical agents to the latest developments. Very exclusive. It's almost as if Bannon expected to be stranded on the planet and prepared himself accordingly. Scott the Captain Kirk. We're uncrating the shuttle load of artifacts from the planet down here, and your man Bannon is getting under everyone's feet with his fussing. Could you not come down and talk to him, Captain? I'm about to kick his freaking ass. I'm about to kick his bloody arse.
Give him the good old-fashioned Irish ass whooping. Although here, Jimmy Doohan plays a Scotsman.
Indeedishness. So he goes down to the shuttle bay. I love the singing shuttle bay like that. Nice job at the shuttle bay there.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So he's giving them all a bunch of crap. Captain Kirk, I really must protest. These guys are being jerk-offs. Mrs. Scott, stop manhandling the professor's finds. In fact, load them all back aboard the shuttle for immediate return to the service. Aye, Captain, with pleasure. What? This is a gross betrayal of our archaeological science, and climb down off that high horse before you fall and hurt yourself, Professor Spock.
Yeah.
Your credentials as an opportunist explorer do not stand up to a scrutiny, Professor. Bannon, or whatever. Our data files show you to hold the chair of whatever. Oh, let's see. Basically, your specialty is the extraterrestrial anthropology of at the University of Colorado. Your specialty is the Gorn. You must have known what lay on Lotora 3. Your actions are little short of grave robbery.
It's true. He desecrated the Gorn graves.
Yep. My only problem, he says, basically, yes, that, well done. But this isn't how it appears, and how should it appear? My life's work has been to prove the contention that the Gorn represents the sort of evolutionary end product that would have occurred on Earth had the Dinosauria not become extinct. They have evolved on a parallel course, denying the rise of mammals. Cool. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, I like what Larry said too. Larry in the chat. The shuttles are unnamed.
They are. Hey, you Muslim uncle. Welcome, my friend.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Yeah, Larry. I love that you look at all of the crazy details like I do. I love you, Larry.
Yeah. They were definitely. Well, you can't see the names anyway. That's for sure.
No.
It should be names. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be named.
Spock said, fascinating and quite likely, but impossible to verify given the xenophobic nature of the Gorn themselves, which is precisely why I followed the trail of rumors to Lotora 3. Here were all the ants were, all the biological specimens I needed. My only problem was how to outrun the Gorn and escape with the finds if they discovered me trespassing. How did you plan to do? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Captain. The distress call was fake. You lured us here to act as a shuttle ride home?
Yeah.
You're going to let us face the Gorn and save you and your pile of illegal artifacts?
Yep.
Kirk the bridge. Yep, they're under fire now.
Hey, but you didn't do the cool sound that you always do for me.
Which one?
Can you do the Verstoom?
That one?
Yes, please.
Did I ever do that one?
I don't think so. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. You've never done that one before.
Under attack, Captain. Bleep. I can't do bleep. Bleep, bleep. At the bridge. We are under attack by Gorn warships, Captain. They have us in a pincer movement between the nuclear vessels. Anyway, so I was kidding. On my way. Congratulations, Bonnie. You may have just started on war single-handedly.
Yeah.
Single-handedly, yep. Throw them in the brig. Let's go see if we can clear this mess up. Captain's log supplemental. My experience of the Gorn has shown them to be fiercely protectionist and territorial, not to mention deadly adversaries. Baden and his and by extension the Enterprise has committed the worst kind of transgression in their eyes.
Yes.
But they are also creatures of honor, and that's all I've got to count on.
I love the cool little ships.
They are pretty nice. So I restate, Saleth, our mission here is peaceful.
You can neither hide nor disguise the Gorn funeral artifacts in your... Oh, man, I can't do it.
I love you for trying.
Oh, man, it hurts.
Don't do it.
I'm not sure I can do it anymore.
No, you can't. You can only do a wee little bit of Gorn.
Oh, my. Maybe a little bit more. I could try. I'm gonna have to whisper it, maybe.
In your hold, human Kirk. Indeed, they are only things that stay by hand from destroying your ship.
Yeah.
But they will be sacrificed if necessary. Surrender to our law or be wiped from the stars. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Such a good Gorn. You are such a talented Gorn. I
can't
love Gorn.
I apologize, everyone. No more Gorn. I wish I could do more Gorn for you. I can't. I mean, it's killing me.
We just appreciated that little bit.
I'm gonna have a torn up throat for a week now. Because usually I do it like in snippets. I've never tried to read actual dialogue doing it before.
Well, this is the most the Gorn has ever said.
Yes.
So
I only had one line before.
Yeah, exactly.
Now this was I was almost going, what are you, Picard or something, when he surrendered? What? Captain? Give me one standard Earth hour to put my affairs in order, then I and my executive officers will escort the artifacts back to the planet's surface and surrender to you. I find your terms acceptable. Anyway, so I confess, Captain. Again, look at that. That's a pose right out of the show. I mean, just again, I love that. I love that they were watching the show when they drew this. I mean, that shows commitment.
Yes, please.
Look at the background.
Yeah.
Look at the consoles in the background and all that stuff.
Yes, please. More, please. Exactly like this, please.
I confess I'm intrigued, Captain. Surrender. The only standing alternative is to fight our way out, Spock, and I'll not fight when we're in the wrong. We can't hide the fact that we have transgressed their laws. Now I brought us an hour to come up with another alternative. So surrender is not your intention. Does that mean you, a Starfleet captain, the man of honor, have just lied to the Gorn? I have my fingers crossed. That's very Kirk.
Yeah.
It's an old Earth custom called a white lie. I fail to see how color might alter duplicity, and I love it. That's pure trick.
Yes.
Let's not argue semantics, Spock. So that was great.
Look at his face there. Look at his face there.
Yep, the smile.
That's perfect.
Oh, so they go down. They well, I should help you, blah blah. They basically threaten this dumbass.
Yeah, guy's a piece of crap.
He talks about how the last rest of us great wars is like Stova Core of Valhalla. Mrs. Spock, let's keep our appointment. Kirk's got an idea.
He does.
I'm gonna do this. I can't. I want to do it so bad.
Don't do it. It's too much. It's a full page.
Mission record report.
I can't do it.
No, you have
so bad.
You have the podcast on Saturday night. Don't you dare.
I've defeated human Kirk. It just doesn't sound right reading it like that.
I know.
Mark, you want to take a stab at it? Is Mark still there?
Mark? Marky Mark.
Oh, my mic. I went to sneeze and I turned my mic.
That's good. You want to take
it back on?
You want to take a stab at the Gorn voice? Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's too painful. You might not want to try it.
It's too painful. I've never even tried the Gorn.
That's fine. You're okay.
I'll have to practice.
I was just teasing anyway. I was just
Nick,
kidding.
I love you, Nick.
What
I
do you
didn't
do?
hear all my pithy comments for the last 30 seconds either.
There's nothing to ruin. I have a shitty voice anyway.
Don't
Nick,
say that.
I hate my voice. I'm saying, but thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I
So
did fall
basically,
asleep. Yeah, no.
did you?
No, I
wouldn't blame
didn't.
you.
My mic was I boomered. I boomer once. I boomer once a stream at least. So
No,
why
you
not?
boomered. Way it goes.
At
So
least I
yeah,
didn't sneeze live on air. So
he just basically recounts how Kirk kicked his ass on that planetoid. He could have
Yes.
slain within, and the fate of his crew rested upon the victory, but he stayed his hand.
Yes.
What does he plan now? He's worried about Kirk.
Yeah.
So he goes down. They forgot to put the name on the shuttle. We'll have to point him. Give him
Yes.
some. We'll let him slide.
Larry.
What's up, Larry?
he wants me
I
to
just
Gorn.
love
Right?
Larry.
Mark has Gorn.
I have a
So,
Funko Pop Gorn.
oh, well, you do, yeah. So anyway, he brought the artifacts back. Have you returned? I would not listen to this. So basically says, but I won't surrender. We must find another way to avoid our conflict. Also, I won't listen to this. Saleth to war, prepare to fire. Basically, he shoots that thing out of his hand. This is how you avoid communicators. How do you? This is how you avoid conflict. Human Kirk. I won't allow you to fire on my ship, Saleth. Listen to me. Restrain the humans and take their weapons. And so we almost killed each other over.
Bajoom.
Oh,
Bajoom.
Sorry. Well, I don't think a phaser sounds like that one. I don't know.
Oh, that was pretty good, Club.
Let me get my phaser and try.
I have
Sorry.
mine. Should
Well,
I
in that
get
case,
mine? Hold
I didn't
on.
do the transport either.
Hold on.
Well, what are you doing? Are you getting your phaser?
I have the transporter sound.
Oh yeah, well, about a phaser. Well, there's Screet Fish.
Oh no, that's my communicator.
That's a communicator.
I know, but hold on. Just hold on for 2 eggs of a puppy's tail. Hold on. I got them all
crap.
here on a soundboard. Just bear with me, folks. Where are you?
Lemon pie. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome.
Command F.
Yeah, phasers.
Where are you? Come on. 34 matches? Get out of here.
What are you looking for?
Oh, here we go.
I like that one. I like that one.
That's a self-destruct.
Yep. Nice. Pow. Stephen S., what's up, bud? So,
I gotta name these things better on my computer.
So, are we ready? Are you still?
Yeah, no, we're having fun with our toys now. Yeah,
I understand. It's cool.
No, I'm actually in my archive.
You can't find the phaser?
No, I have the name. I need to come up with a better naming convention than I have.
Gotcha. The all right. Where are we at? Okay. So anyway, after they have a little dust up here, pow zoomy zoom and stuff. Kirk says, let's see, we almost killed each other over a misunderstanding once. Must we start us? Tell me when you're ready for me to continue. Tell me when you're ready.
That was Raquel, not me.
I know. I'm fine. I'm
It
loving the
wasn't
noises.
supposed to happen. I hit mute immediately. I'm sorry.
I love the noises. You kidding me? I think it's great.
No, I'm just looking for it. Like, why did I name things in such a stupid way? Like, who names things like this? Like,
Aren't you supposed to be a professor who's good at like archiving stuff? There we go.
There we go.
There's the phaser. Finally.
Ow. Thoom. Thoom.
There we go. It's because I have every variety. Want to hear phaser cannon, Pike era?
What names these? People like us do.
That's Pike era. Anyway, I need
Nice.
to stop playing with my BS right now. And I have to clean up my sound archive. I have hundreds of these sounds, and I really need to get over myself. I'm a
I love 'em.
weirdo.
I love those sounds. I wish I had one of them. So, anyway, we'll finish this up real quick here. We almost killed each other over a misunderstanding once. Must we start the war the same way? We made a mistake because we didn't understand Salath. They didn't understand Salath. I'm asking for your forgiveness, but the honor of our dead has been violated. He says, I can't take back the error we made, but I can show respect for the dead. He says, the Norsemen, an ancient part of our culture, honored their warrior dead by sending them to the afterlife in burning ships, their weapons and possessions with them. That way, the dead could rest as they deserved, with honor restored in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Our people should be trying to learn about each other, Saleth, not kill each other. Mutual ignorance breeds the violence that exists between our races. And I believe we have more in common than you might think.
These Norsemen, I would like to know more about them.
That can be arranged. You see, Saleth? It's easier to make friends with an open hand than a closed fist. And they made friends.
Nice.
That's pure Star Trek. And then they're back on the
Broke his hand doing it.
You can hear this, you can see this happening in an episode. The next shot, you see the Enterprise, you hear that music. Bum, 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 and they're back on the ship at the end. You know, the epilogue, that thing. Doesn't it feel like that? I mean,
it does. It's awesome.
He broke
I assigned
Kirk's
this
fingers.
sound to my email whenever I send out an email on my phone, and I love it. TOS Photon Torpedo 2. Sorry.
He broke Kirk's fingers with shaking hands. 2 broken fingers and a microfractures to the wrist. Not bad for a friendly handshake. Go easy, Bones. It diffused the situation, and we opened up a positive dialogue with a previously unapproachable race. This feels like the end of an episode, too. It's like,
it does.
Captain, how did you know the Viking analogy would appeal to the Gorn? I didn't, but kept my fingers crossed. Another gesture of duplicity. A gesture of luck this time, Spock, but you never can tell with us humans. Huh? You can't indeed. Warp 3, Mr. Sulu. Take us home. Aye, sir. And then you hear that music. Bum, 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 bum. Then you hear the music. The wah, 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 and finally I sit there and watch when I'm watching a Trek episode, I've got to have the end credits. I got to watch the music and read all those names again. And then the very end of it, especially if it's first 2 seasons, you get that shot of Susan Oliver. He goes, and you hear the Desilu fanfare. Ba, 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 ba. Then they got to cut it off because before on my old videotapes, that's where it ends, like ba, 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 and then. But now it's got that CBS jingle shit now at the end of them, so you got to cut that off before it gets to that stupid. So if you're a true Trek fanatic, you watch all the way to the end credits and you listen to the music, right?
Never leave early.
No.
Your logic was impeccable, Captain.
We were in grave danger. That's from Changeling. Love it.
I love saying, I love playing that for you whenever your logic is impeccable, Captain.
Your logic was impeccable because we were in grave danger. Love that episode. You make me want to watch a Trek episode tonight. I will.
You made me bring up my soundboard.
I love the
The
soundboard.
warp drive, that's a hopeless pile of junk.
Looked like a hopeless pile of junk. Love it.
I'm a doctor, not a mechanic. You're out of your Vulcan mind, Spock.
Spock.
What in the name of heaven is this?
Heaven's got very little to do with this.
My favorite.
He's dead, Jim.
He's dead, Jim. What about he's worse than that? He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead. He's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. Starboard bow.
It's Klingons on the starboard bow.
I love Trek sound bites.
I do that all day.
Like 100%. You ready? Hold on. Oh, it's the best. That's my phone. I assigned it to my phone. That's how it sounds.
So when people call you, that's what happens, or do you have different?
No, it plays
soundboards
Red
for
Alert
different-
1 for when people phone me. Of like regular people, I get Red Alert
I hope
1.
that's not your better halves. Better not ring Red Alert when
No, when my
your better half
offspring
calls. He
calls
might not
me,
like that.
when my offspring calls me, it's actually the sound of a triple purr. But the
Nice.
husband, it's still the
Yep.
But no, when the husband, it's Red Alert. It's Red Alert.
Ah, getting a red alert right here. That thing's dangerous. So nice.
Nice. Okay, so now that we're playing with the soundboard and I'm being obnoxious, I'm just
Please
going to stop
continue.
now.
I mean,
I love it.
Knock this. But yeah.
I
I like that engineering side of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to get the naming down a little bit because naming them to keep them all in order when there are hundreds of them, it's just like
Wow.
because you have to keep them because you've got your Red Alert, you got your replicators, you got your miscellaneous,
Right.
you got your medical devices, you know what I mean? You got your
Sure.
explosions, your doors, you got the TNG era computer, you got the TOS era computer, Anyway.
True. Yeah.
It's a giant enterprise.
Because I can remember. The next issue is issue 2, of course. That's also a double. They have different art in it a little bit now. Some of it's similar and different. These stories, if I remember, are pretty interesting. I don't know, the art's really weird. It's the same artist, but anyway, it starts with a TOS and then goes into a TNG or so. Will they be as good as the first issue? I don't know. I don't think so, but you will find out.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say right now that that this is an A+ for me.
Okay.
And the reason why it's an A+ is because
West Cagle.
West.
So you give it an A+.
I'm giving it an A+.
Both of them, or just the one story?
The whole comic. I'm
Okay.
just going to grade the whole comic because I thought both stories were good. I thought the ending on the Gorn story was a little rushed, but I didn't care because just really good storytelling with high fidelity. Nobody decided to go off on their merry way here and act moronic. There was nothing imbecilic here.
It was pure Trek. It felt like Trek and everything.
Yeah, it had the look and the feel of Trek, and it even made me like the TNG episode. This probably should have been a TNG movie instead of the garbage they gave us. But if you can make me like Poopy Stew at this point in my life, like wow. Because he is a whiny baby suck. And a jerk off. And I mean, yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's an A+. I do have to say I do enjoy comics when they're a little bit thicker. Because we need to be able to have a true story, and here we have two stories that they're not as fleshed out as a short story, but I will say this: they both feel like an episode, and they both feel like an episode showing fidelity to the original source material. So definitely love Star Trek Unlimited. Episode 1. Have you
read them all yet, Raquel? Or
no, I don't do that.
She waits each week.
You waited. Okay, just wondering.
I'm
You're
linear.
allowed to. I mean,
you know that I'm.
But you
linear.
could have read them all. You could have read them all in order already.
I know, but you know that.
Because sometimes I'm watching Voyager and I just can't wait to watch the next episode, and sometimes I watch, the shows for the next week, even though I don't have to. I've done that a few times.
Mars Monkey Max gives it an A. I didn't know you read that.
Good.
I'd give this one an A. What do you bet you, Marco?
Yeah, this is definite A. Yeah, this is too good.
Both stories are top notch.
Almost like an A. It's almost like an A+ because it's both stories. Would have made good episodes, and it just shows you the travesty of what's happened with Strange Nude Worms and how they've desecrated the Gorn. I mean, the Gorn would go attack the Raiders of Strange Nude Worms. I mean, how they've ruined that race, because that's the whole point of Star Trek is, the Gorn is actually kind of like Benji, the thing. You assume it's, he's an evil monster race, reptiles, which a lot of people are scared of, a dinosaur, and that slow walk. I mean, that was one of the scariest
Right.
episodes to watch as a kid. But they've got their own belief system, and we were the Federation, had trespassed on their territory, not knowing. So, not saying the Gorn's response was correct, but there was something more to that there. So they're not just jaws, they're not just land sharks, so there's more to them. And of course they've got warp technology, and what the new Star Trek is attempted, so-called Star Trek has done to them is just horrendous by wrecking them and turning them basically xenomorphs. I mean, how could you be a warp capable species and act like they do on that show? It's just and this is just so much more enlightening. Is that a pompous word to use? I don't know.
No.
But it's just
No, not at all, because they dare to dig into
Enlightened.
the idea of the psychohistory. They dare to dabble in the idea that if they know the outcome of what's happening with a species that isn't as developed as they are, do they have the right to interfere? And it leaves the lesson of, once you start interfering, you may undo yourself or yourselves. So I don't think so. And I definitely think that in archaeology, there is a constant pushback in our modern society that says, should we be desecrating the remains of human beings?
Yeah.
And is this a proper thing we should be doing? So I don't think you're reaching too far at all, Mark. I think both are two pretty meaty subjects, and they make you go away and think. So I agree with you. I agree.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think you reach too far there at all.
Yeah. But it's I just love this. Love both of these. I mean, I like the Gorn one better, of course, because who wouldn't love the Gorn better with it? I've got the Battle of the Brawn poster hanging on my wall, but yeah, it's just well written too. So you always feel, even in the TNG too, story, you feel like this could be on screen and you'd be watching it, and it wouldn't take you out of the, it's could be part of the show. And like some of the last few comics we read, I think you weren't too happy with some of the last few comics. Just didn't seem like Star Trek. So
they didn't seem like Star Trek at all. They didn't feel like Star Trek. I didn't
and
enjoy
it's
them.
not just the art too, it's mainly the story. You can always overcome Hungry Boy's not here, but you can always overcome bad art with a good story. I'm sure artists wouldn't like to hear that, but I'd rather have a really good story and mediocre art to kind of get by. But yeah, it's
for me, like, as you know, I've never read comics, so I don't look at the pictures. I just look at the story. So I see what you're saying, because like I have no use for the pictures. There's something that I have to get used to. I actually just go right over them. So if the comic is super lean and the story sucks, it really stands out for me. Like,
yeah,
in the other collections that we've read, they start off beautiful, and then all of a sudden they go off the rails, just like Clobby said, that last one that we read, the series 4. It's like they fell off a cliff, and everyone was just so disappointed, because we were so hopeful, because the first few issues felt like episodes.
Really good.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I totally agree. The art isn't as important. I know the art is super important for people like Clobby, who understand and place an extremely high value on the production of the art, the process, the publishing, and the whole ecosystem, because he wants the whole ecosystem to be healthy, and he loves the art working with the story. So I get that. But for me, like, totally being honest, probably
you
more
always
honest
want
than I
you
should
strive
be.
for both, but if I had to pick one,
Yeah.
I'd
For me,
almost pick the story.
Yeah. And
over
I'm going to
over the
go
art.
along with you on that one, because like I said, I'm still getting used to having pictures in my stories.
Yeah, you didn't grow up like we did, needing pictures to learn how to read.
Yeah,
And
but I
follow
also don't have
instructions,
the
just
knowledge
yeah.
of the art. I
Yeah, I
actually
know,
don't have
but
the knowledge of the art. You know what I mean? It's like Klobby started reading these comics when he was young, but it grew
same
into
with me.
something.
Yeah,
It grew
that was
into
probably the
something.
first stuff I read too. And I'm thinking about it. Probably I had
Yeah,
those
but then it grew into this
books on records.
appreciation
Yeah,
and
yeah.
knowledge of the production of comics and the entire art industry, like how it works, the pencilers, the inkers, the way that production and publishing affect the art, and yeah, and I also like the fact that he likes the pre comic book art, the styles and and the adventures of artists who were pushing the boundaries of art to even make comic books. And so, yeah, his whole
I do.
take and his whole history of explaining comics to me and how comics came to be, I think it was the only that probably would have been the only angle to get me to read a comic, and it worked on me hook, line, and sinker.
That and Star Trek? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Star Trek, yeah. You know me well. But you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
the
sure.
way that you've explained the entire communication historiography of comic books means a lot to me, because you know that communication historiography was the nucleus of my master's thesis, and it's just so important to us culturally and historically, and just it's just such a marvelous mechanism. And communication historiography as a discipline, I think, is so holistic. It can reveal so much about a society, and the fact that you were able to explain the communication historiography of comics, I think, is what made them incredibly interesting to me.
Wow, good to hear it. I mean, hey, Nemesis.
Comics were highfalutin.
First, wait a second. Sean Carter, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. And
Sean
Nemesis.
Carter from Mars.
Good to see you, Nemesis. Thanks for being here. Welcome to you both. So I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's all I was going to say. It was just that you know, comics are a great medium too, and you know, it helped a lot of people and kids learn to read. You've said it's helped you, and I'm thinking back, and I'm sure
Taught me how to read.
And I had some of those. I had some of those Peter Pan records, and you know, they got trashed eventually.
Power
but
records.
But I remember playing those over and over too. I think I had a Batman one that I played over and over. You know, you had those little cheesy record
They have Star
players.
Trek ones. Yeah.
Yep. I still years later I got those as gifts, the ones on my wall from my for Christmas. But yeah, it's a fantastic medium, and when you get the art right and the story right, God, is it good. I mean, you got best of both worlds to copy a Star Trek title, but and the art was pretty darn good in this, although my version wasn't as good. But I would love to have seen a story like this. Yeah.
Read the real one.
What?
I do own some of these, so I think I do own a couple of these issues.
Well,
but
it's my favorite art form. I love it. Words and pictures, basically, is the bottom line way. It's what it boils down to: telling stories with pictures, but you know, combining them with words. Words and pictures. What was it? Scott McCloud kind of over-explained it a little bit in this excellent award-winning book from the early 90s called Understanding Comics. I used to call it over-explaining comics, but he was, you know, I liked him. He's a good dude. Well, he kept trying to find different, people used to call it graphic literature. They call it this, they call it that, using graphics. And he finally came out with the most complicated explanation of all, juxtaposed pictorial images in deliberate sequence. And I said, everyone said, like, that's cute, dude. No one's going to call it that. So it's just comics is a misnomer, but
I
they
would.
use it. It would take too long.
Yeah.
Nemesis, I love your comments. Can I just say too that Klobby introduced me to
that one there?
Comics that I have been exploring that are actually Homer. So there are comics, and they're, oh my goodness, they are extraordinarily expensive. I took some photographs when I was at a
Classics
comic book shop.
Illustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Classics Illustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nemesis, I was blown away to find out that they were doing Homer, I went into a physical comic book shop and I was checking them out, and I was just blown away. I just thought it was so cool because
So you'd never seen the Classics Illustrated before?
We showed them to her
No.
one night on here, though. Remember, didn't we?
Yeah,
but before that, that was your first exposure. Like, yeah,
that
I guess
I
you
would
don't
not know
comics.
about that if it were not for
Okay.
Clobby and
Okay.
for being here with you two at the clubhouse. I would not have known about that. No way in heck.
Larry asked because Nemesis is over on X. That's why you can't see him. But he's here with us nonetheless.
Yes.
So
and
yeah.
right now the register in StreamYard is reading 133
That didn't seem
viewers.
possible.
So I just want to say that everyone who is passively watching us on X, thank you very much.
Thank you. Everyone watching, whether you're lurking on X or lurking here
Yep.
or in the chat hanging out with us, we do appreciate you so much. Cannot thank you enough.
Yep. But yeah, I thought
yeah.
that was really super cool, and I can definitely tell you that they're definitely worth looking at. Nemesis. Thing is that I can't afford them, and I won't read them digitally. I will only read them if they're in my hands, because of course I like how you're quoting Marshall McLuhan from Edmonton, Alberta. The medium is the message. I guess that's a very appropriate thing to say right when I say that I believe in holding a book in my hands and being able to smell the ink and being able to smell the library, as it were, within the pages, smell the history of the book inside. So one day I'm going to be able to afford them, but Clobby told me not to unless unless I show it to him, and even then he said that he still doesn't feel entirely comfortable. They're really expensive, like $60 or $70 for one comic.
Yeah, I mean they're old. I mean they haven't done
old.
Classics Illustrated in a long time.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's pretty high. But I mean it just goes to show you back then, when Dell and some of the other companies that were printing the Classics Illustrated, doing comic book adaptations of of course classic literature. It just shows what what our culture was back then. They even something as throwaway as comic book medium would have very valuable stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they would they were meant to get those kinds of stories out there to kids, so they would start early on them, and they would want to read those books after seeing the comics and stuff. And that's part of what they were for. And there was, and it just goes to show those are popular stories. To do comics of them, I think, was the ultimate. It was a compliment, and in a sense, to these stories, because they're so important that they wanted to make sure kids started on those early.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I just
and it's exploring the subject matter in a way that's accessible to children that grew up in an epoch in which they wouldn't be speaking Latin and Greek by the time they were 10. They would not be trapped in a house where there was nothing to do for hours on end. So they would have to go and pick up Homer, and they would have to read it and understand it. It really was making it accessible to children who were growing up in an entirely different generation with different media competing for attention, and certainly a different way of learning at school. And so I think that it's a marvelous thing to do to just introduce a child to something they wouldn't perhaps study until, well, unfortunately, the way that education has been going, they wouldn't have access to Homer until university, right? Which is kind of sad, because you really want that happening much earlier. But yeah. And Wes Kegel, I totally agree with you. I love buying old books at yard sales and estate sales, especially books that have been retired from a library. The smell is just, it's hard to explain to people. Like, I don't think people understand it, but it smells a bit like golf green, wine, cigarette smoke, dust. It just, it is the most intoxicating. It's like you're smelling life. You're smelling.
Is that how you get high?
Yeah. If a soul had a smell, it would be inside of a book. That's what the inside of a book smells like. It
books,
smells
young
like
man, books.
Yeah.
Yeah, to quote Samuel T. Cogley, attorney at law.
Yeah. So yeah, books are just fabulous. And West, I just absolutely love you. Thank you for being friends with me. I enjoy your company
You rock,
immensely.
Fest. You rock. Yeah, we got such the greatest people here. It's like the other night. Well, yes, no, it was last night. Number one, that was what was it? I forgot. As has happened here many times. Someone was asked me a question, and obviously, it was something that was, I can't remember what it was now. That's how my memory is. That I'd never read before or seen. It wasn't just something that was not in my particular wheelhouse. And I said, but you know what? There's a bunch of people in the chat. There's going to be someone here that knows it. That could find. I mean, and it wasn't something you could just Google because it was kind of an eclectic question. And I said, with this group here, I have no fear. Someone will know it. We always, one of us will get it.
Yeah.
And somebody here's into it just because I'm not. Someone is, and boom, every time.
Yeah.
Somebody here will get it. I mean, and we'll know. So, and there have been many times there when I was pretty sure that I was going to say something so obscure that nobody would get the reference, or something I liked that nobody else ever read or watched.
Yeah.
And 5 people go, oh yeah. Well,
We got it.
like RR, like you said the other day in the comments, and I appreciate they said something like, what was it? I forgot. Oh, it was the video I did. I think it was the video I did the other day about the fighting with the ex-twats and
the surfer thing.
Maybe so. He said something. He says, we're brothers. We could have lived next door. I mean, we grew up in all the same stuff. Now he and I don't agree on everything, but we have we're still on the same page in terms of same wavelength on just liking a lot of the same stuff. So. Anyway, but we got
I absolutely love you, Clobby. And Wes Giggle, yes, I totally agree. It's something magical. It's like, when I walked in the Holy Trinity, when I walked into the Trinity Library in Dublin, there's just no smell like that. When you pick up a book, like I try to collect rare, especially banned books. And when you go in and you find like a used copy of one, and it's been well loved because those are the only ones I can afford, like Lady Chatterley's Lover. I have a very, very old copy of Lady Chatterley's Lover. But when you open it up and just the smell of the leather, but the paper absorbs the paper absorbs all of the history. That's why I totally agree with you. You say it's the smell of history. I say it's the smell of soul. So I totally agree with you, because it's just paper absorbs every single thing it comes in contact with. And so you imagine every single person who touched that page with their fingers, and the cigarettes they were smoking, and that had a huge impact on libraries and a huge impact on people who were borrowing books and then returning them. And just, there's just so much history and so much love and so much soul inside of a book. Anyway, I love
we have a rummage room in town, which is it's a thrift store, so you can go every once in a while, go there and check out the old books. When I was a kid, they'd have paperbacks for 5 cents, but they're basically it was just to get rid of them and share, not to get them thrown out, but just once you read the paperback, pass it on to someone else. So I'd always, grab the Star Trek books or the sci-fi books, or I wonder if that's where I have some of my old Star Trek copies, like that first edition of, the making of Star Trek book. Probably was guessing it's from a thrift shop, back in the day. And someone would someone never read it too. That one's in great shape. And there's nothing like it too, going to an old bookstore. Although I have to say, the convenience of digital, I have probably like 20,000 comic books, but if I have some of these, I think I have some of these unlimited comics, but I got to go down to the dungeon and figure out what long box it's in, pull it out, and try to find it.
Why though? Why didn't you put it in your house?
I don't have room.
Do you have bookshelves?
They're all on shelves, but they're in long boxes, and then you got to find out which. I've got way too much. If you only saw my basement, so I got to try to do is move my comics to another area where I can get them. What I really wanted to do was
pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to do was get what some people do. They store them in legal bookshelves. So I bought a few of those. I'm going to put the comics in legal bookshelves, and you can do 2 stacks side by side, so they're easy to find. But long boxes, Clobberin Times, of course, was right to suggest short boxes, because the long boxes are such a pain to get
they're a
out
pain
of
in the butt. Yeah, I love
pull
short
out
boxes.
of the long shelf, because I have I made big shelves for all of them, but it's just, it's a first world problem, I admit, but sometimes it's just easier to grab the don't kill
Yeah.
me. It's just easier to grab the digital and read
Yeah,
it that way.
Nathan Hawk. Well,
Good evening, Nathan Hawk. Yeah,
Hello.
I'm getting
I
all
wanna-
of mine bagged and boarded
Yeah,
because you guys
of
taught me
course.
that. So this collection, this unlimited collection, I got near mint. Hello, Sonley.
Sonley.
But I would say it would be mint. I don't know much about comic books, but I do know a little about publishing, and I would say that these are in brand new condition.
Near mint?
Although
Okay.
I know that the grading system is for comic books is different than for books, but
Right.
I had them bagged and boarded, and as you know, I have a very long and floor to ceiling high bookshelves in several rooms in my home. So what I have done is I've actually created a comic book area where the bagged and boarded are stood on end and on display in my office and in my receiving room. So like it's not my family room. It's called a different thing in a different country around the world. It seems like, every country has their own name for it. But the parlor or the living room or the receiving room, the front room is what we call it here. But so I have them displayed there. And it's because I can't afford a spinner rack. The spinner racks are unbelievably expensive.
It's a fortune.
Oh, they're
It used to
way
be
too
cheap,
expensive.
but
Nemesis. So actually, this Marvel Dune 1 through 3 arrived. So you got the regular issues. Then yeah, cool. So there's also originally that was formatted in a Marvel Super Special, which was a magazine-sized adaptation, or like a bigger adaptation. Then they did it in single issues too. So looks like you bought the single floppy issues. Good. I'm glad you got those, man. Very cool. Bill Sienkiewicz art.
Super cool, and they smell beautiful. I do have to say that the last series that Clobby taught me about, we read all of them. The last series I got was very, very used, like somebody had read it, and it had a very, very strong smell, and you could tell that the person was a very heavy smoker. And so it was a little off-putting, but these ones that are like they're in brand new condition, they smell like a library. They smell like an old comic book shop. They're not quite as smoky, and you guys have no idea how good they smell. So Nemesis, I know what you mean. They arrived smelling pretty sweet. It's a great feeling to hold a book in your hands and to see the art, and yeah, it's cool.
Yepper indeeder.
Oh yeah, Nathan, baseball cards. Yes, smell counts for baseball cards. Yes.
And that gum will live forever. That gum will survive a nuclear war. That Topps
Do
gum.
not eat the gum. Do not eat the gum, Nathan Hawk. Do not eat the gum. It's funny. It's funny.
Yep. There you go. Well, it's getting late for you people.
It is,
Got late
it is
early.
a school night, and we have to scoot. I'm actually half an hour past when I'm supposed to be,
Oh,
and
my.
I no longer hear pool balls crashing in the basement. You
Oh,
know what that
no.
means? Andrew's stream is
Get
over,
yourself to
so
bed.
I have to skedaddle, and I because he stopped playing, I know that it's quite late for him, so
Yep.
I can't stay
Okay.
to say goodnight to everyone. But I do want to say very quickly how much I love you all, and thank you for spending your time with us tonight. Thank you for your company, for your ideas, for your reviews, for the laughs, for the great points, for everything. I love you all so much, and Clobby and I and Mark as well. We just appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for everything
Absolutely.
tonight, Mark. Thanks for hanging out. And Clobby, honey, I love you.
Love you.
Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for
Thank you.
just walking up to me that day and saying, hey, do you want to hang out? Because you're one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Oh.
Thank you for everything that you've taught me. Thank you for your company and for just being a marvelous human being. I freaking adore you. And when I say that I'm sending smooches for your whole face, I truly mean it. I adore you, sweetheart.
Oh, same back at you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
I can't send you smooches because I would get in trouble, beat up. With
That's okay.
I would get to have
Get a pool cue upside your head.
Balls. Pool cues upside my head.
I love you guys very
but
much.
I love you. Love you.
Thank you.
Back at
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. All right, everyone. The wonderful first officer. So, all right, dude. Well, I guess it's time to run out on everybody. Man, I hate to do it.
Yeah.
It's great
Well,
to
we
see
did
you all here.
almost 3.5 hours. So
And we
that's
could have
not a
done some
bad,
enabling, I guess, but better not. It's too much.
Yeah,
I am distressed about a figure that I'm trying to find out there, but I'll get with
which
you about that
figure
later.
you're trying to get?
I'll tell you about it later, I guess. I
Tell
don't
me
want to get
later,
everybody.
okay.
I don't want to get everybody involved in all that crap tonight. But yeah. And Nathan Hawk, good to see you.
Well, so I do have an enabling Kolchak thing, but I'll save it for next week for
Really? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
I forgot. I just reminded me.
Oh
that
shit!
they're
Really
Kolchak.
get
They're
on her.
custom clay figures. I think you can
Oh.
still buy them, but they're
Wow.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
All right, then we got anything to report before I do the show notes and the shout outs?
Well, just thank you everyone for the hanging out at the watch party tonight. I need 60 more. Is it 60 more watch hours? I'm almost got my
60.
watch.
Wow.
It's just 60. So if anyone feels like watching some of my playlists, if you happen to miss any of the show,
I'll do what I can.
yeah. So I need. Oh yeah, I only need 60 more watch hours. And it's the thing that's frustrated is it's the last 365. So it's it's not 4,000 total. It's the last 365 days. So then maybe you've had a really good show, and if that can get knocked off. So, but I've been building my watch hours, but I'm very, very close. So if anyone, and I did post let me put that link in. I did do a new Silver Surfer review of that Silver Surfer statue that I had. So let me post.
Go ahead.
And hopefully go watch that, because I'm only getting like 30 views or 20 views. I don't know what's going on with the YouTubes, but I appreciate we get a good hangout from the geekery and the live shows, but all my videos have been normally not that I get a gazillion shows, but I get like 100, 200, 300. I've gotten like 30 views, 20 views, 60 views. It's like,
Put your link in there.
Yeah, I am putting it in. Thank you very much. So
Thanks,
please go
Nemesis.
watch it. Watch this review on the Silver Surfer Randy Bowen statue.
All right, put the link in there. All right, dude. Well, thanks. Let's see. Show notes and shout outs, everybody. Tomorrow night on my great buddy J-Man's channel, if you are a Fantastic Four fan, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We started last week, Fantastic Fridays, and we're going to review all of the Jack King Kirby's legendary run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102, and annuals 1 through 6. We're going to do 4 issues a week, of course, and it is a lot of fun. Just going back and reviewing probably the most important run in all of comics history, certainly superhero comics history for dang sure. So it's great, a lot of fun there, and I hope if you like comics, will join us. Then, of course, my good buddy 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser's on at 8:30 Central Standard Time with Friday Night Comic Shop and the Comic Shop Boys. I usually I'm there hanging out with them. And so it's a lot of fun if you want to geek out about comics on a Friday night. If they're having an interview with somebody tomorrow night, I forgot. I think one of the guys doing the new Cull comic, if I'm not mistaken. So they got some interviews coming up. So it's pretty cool. And then, of course, back on this channel, Saturday night for Saturday Night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel, same is Central. Oh, sorry. We, of course, reviewing all of real Star Treks, 866 through 05. We are now currently in season 6 of Star Trek Voyager, 4 more episodes. And then, speaking of the great chief engineer, end your week as a geek. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our chief engineer's channel, the great Mark D with a C, Sunday Night Geekery and Eatery. And then, of course, if you're a Legion of Superheroes fan, back on J-Man's channel, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, for our ongoing mission of reviewing every appearance of my beloved Legion of Superheroes with Sean and J-Man on this J-Man's channel, 58 through 89, and we're only up to 1969, so we're going to be doing it for a while. Then I'll have Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, and then Wildcard Wednesday night, and all the usual shows that I do. And so just stay with us. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. And check us out. Four nights a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And, of course, I'm on a lot of other shows. I'm on Midnight's Edge After Dark on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm on Stone Loki's Comic Roundtable on Wednesday nights. So lots of fun, lots of streaming. Now, let's see. Shout outs to all of our wrenches and our friends who are here with us tonight in the chat. The great Eric K. Hey, by the way, Eric K. Hope you're having fun in Vegas at the Friday night Tights meet up there with Gary and Neurotic and
awesome,
our good friend, our good buddy Gary and all those friends over there. Hope they're having a great time. Chris Persia, the Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. Thank you, buddy, for all you do. The great D-Bud Martin, Lord Thoth, Avon lives long, live the Legion, the great Wrench Without Fear, J-Man, Maddie's Daddy, Kal-El, Fancy Outsidery, Maximum Redstone, and Larry. And let's see who else was here with us tonight in the chat. Mars, Monkey Max, MMM, thank you so much for being here. Oliver Belamonte, Nathan Hawk, thank you for stopping in. Good to meet you. Or good to see you there. Sort of like meeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nemesis, all right, dude, thanks for being here. Lisa, Joe Dog, Pop Culture Republic, Oliver Belamonte, I think I already said him. Oops, sorry. Son Lee, Rob Altus.
Yep.
Son Lee, Rob Altus. Wes Cagle. Dun Ranger Power. That takes a while to get to somebody. Larry. Oh, I already said Larry.
Yep.
Sorry, Larry. You can never say Larry too much, though.
No.
Let's see. Your Muslim uncle. All right. Sean Cutter from Mars. So many like duplicate, so it takes a while to get one. Well, you know. Right?
Yeah.
The great 32 flavors of Nick Weiser, buddy. The Tetrarch of Apathy. Lemon Pie. Stephen S. Melted Copper. RRT and Z. John Platt. Dadman. Rob Altus. Oh, I think I already said him. Sorry. Adega Outlaw. Ezra Goldstein. Shalom. DJ Play Nice. Let's see. Did I say Joe Dog already? Joe Dog. I think I probably did.
You might have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. Michael Beacom. Patrick Britt. All right. Let me see. Up in here. Long way to go. Looks like a long way.
A lot of people here tonight, which is great.
Yeah, amazing. Look at the numbers. I mean, it's incredible. I don't believe it. It doesn't seem. It's just weird, but it's cool. Very cool.
Very good.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Let's see. Princess Fiona, love you, Fiona. She was here earlier. Brogu from my old hometown. Smilex. Scroll. Ravenscroft. Scroll up. Jamie Harbert. Thank you. Man, it takes forever to get up there.
Scrolling. Yeah.
Zathras. All right, Zath. Now I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to think, oh, of course, the great Tex, 1701 Tex was here. Of course, that goes without saying.
Yep.
Adrian James. Okay, now Picasso, you're my kind of town. I know the town part doesn't make sense, but I'm getting it from Buck Rogers.
Why not?
You know, Buck Rogers when he sings, Chicago, Chicago, you're my kind of town. Come in, Houston Control. Come in, Houston Control. Put down your cards on your backgammon boards. Lucky Buck is back. Hey, come on, you turkeys. I'm on final. Give me some final info, man. I'm on final entry or whatever. Entry, they got practically a foreign language. Simply Steve. I've watched that Buck Rogers pilot way too much. I remember back. It was one of the first. It was one of the first video VHS tapes I got in the late 70s, early 80s. They did the movie. They had a movieized version of the pilot, which showed in theaters. And I had that. It was like $70, $80. We bought that.
Wow.
And Andy Masterson was here. I'm honored, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Andy was here. Yep.
I watched that over and over and over again, dude. I loved it. Buck Rogers. Claude Salang. Ranger 3, and it's pilot Captain William Buck Rogers. Let's see. Bing bada bing bada dang dong bing bada ding bada ding dang da dang dang da ding Dave C. Scribe Light. Okay, now it's the time to start saying, I'm gonna go way out on a limb and say I probably don't have everybody. I'm gonna, you don't even have to bet this time. I'm saying that I don't have everybody yet, but I'm getting there because I know there's at least 2 more. I know I'm confident that there's Night Raven 1942, for example, said, what is Clobby going to talk about? I have not seen him back since. FKH Tim, buddy, the first one tonight was me and my monkey. So that's everybody unless somebody snuck in. Just another red shirt. What's up, duder?
Hey, red shirt.
All right,
you can always rewind, but yeah, late for live. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that, Nathan Hawk. That song is addictive, isn't the Larry song? Larry does not like that song. He might like it. I don't know. I can't speak for him. All right. Well, everyone, I want to thank you all again for being here. Thank you so much. It is truly appreciated. Now, let us part from you and have a fantastic weekend. Clobber on, clobbers.
It's clobbering time!
The word is given.
Groovy.
You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby's Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer.
I just love clobbering time.